nil as Tonali slammed an effort from just outside the area onto the foot of the post. Wolves just didn't do enough to find an equaliser in the second half, and they've now made their worst ever start to a league campaign with 4 defeats on the spin. For the Magpies, all eyes are now on the visiting Barcelona on Thursday night as they kick off their Champions League campaign. But for now, Nick Woltemade will just be soaking up the acclaim after his Premier League goal on his Premier League debut. It finished Newcastle United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0.
That was Rob Dugmore with the recap. Plenty of football in the Premier League, as I said already. Today, Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest by 3-0 in the lunchtime kick-off. Bournemouth beat Brighton over Albion by 2-1. It was 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Sunderland. Also 0-0 between Everton and Aston Villa. And in a game between Fulham and Leeds United, Fulham won by 1-0. But let's have a listen to the recap of that encounter at Craven Cottage.
Fulham left their business late in the transfer window, and they left it incredibly late to snatch victory at Craven Cottage. Leeds United will travel back to Yorkshire, pondering over missed chances. They did enough to take something from this game. If not a victory, then certainly a draw. Fulham failed to conjure up a single shot in the first half. Leeds weren't much ahead of them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin heading straight at Bernd Leno. Sean Longstaff fizzing a shot that clipped the top of the crossbar. Brendan Aronson nearly had Leeds ahead just after the restart. The flick towards goal was saved by Leno. But then Fulham started to grow into the game. Wilson's free kick just after the hour was the Cottagers' first effort on goal, and it was saved by Carl Darlow, who was kept busy from there on in. The standing goalkeeper Darlow, Cunez's header, and he reached up to touch a curling effort from the impressive Brazilian debutant, the substitute Kevin, deep into stoppage time, touching the ball over the bar. Sadly for Darlow, from the resulting corner, he could do nothing to keep out an own goal from his defender Gabriel Gudmundsson, inadvertently heading past the goalkeeper and into the corner to hand Fulham a first victory of the season in the Premier League, a victory they scarcely deserved. Final score at Craven Cottage, Fulham 1, Leeds United.
That was Barry Swain summing up Fulham against Leeds United here in the capital at London Stadium. 0-0 after the opening 45 minutes. Tottenham did have the ball in the back of the net, chalked off, and Lucas Paquetá with a big chance as well. But it is goalless after the opening 45 minutes. No doubt there'll be plenty more to consider in the second 45 minutes. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Previously on White.
substitutions at the start of the second half. They mentioned during that opening 45 minutes that Tell was moving quite gingerly and struggled to make an impact really in the first half. That might change here though. Here's Bergvall. Bergvall gathers the ball for Tottenham on the left-hand side. It is Bergvall who slides it down the line. He was looking for Jed Spence, and Jed Spence's cross is deflected behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he's grown, hasn't he, in stature in the game, Jed Spence. Early on, Walker-Peters was pushing him back, really stood out, but the longer this game has gone on, the more he's got forward, Jed Spence. On that occasion, really well-timed overlap, and surprise, surprise, Tottenham have themselves a corner here.
It is Xavi Simons to take it. West Ham been so vulnerable from set pieces this season. It is West Ham 0, Tottenham 0. Corner kick then for Tottenham. It's going to be Xavi Simons right-footed to swing in the cross towards the back post, and there is the opening goal. West Ham United have been so vulnerable from set-piece situations this season, and Pap Sarr profits in style. It was Xavi Simons who swung the corner kick into the area, and Sarr met it clean and true to knock Tottenham in front. It's West Ham 0, Tottenham 1.
It was only a matter of time. West Ham United have been so shaky defending set pieces all season, but particularly in this game. And eventually, at the 9th time of asking, on the 9th corner, Sarr thunders home a header. The zonal marking setup is slack. Sarr is all on his own, standing on his own at the far stick. No one is near him, and he can just leap high and power a header through the goalkeeper into the back of the net. If they have a set-piece coach, West Ham, that set-piece coach needs to get a grip on his work, because that is terrible from West Ham United.
Well, he's only 5 yards out, really, Pap Sarr, completely unmarked. Still got to direct it goalwards, and he did, but it's a really bad moment that for West Ham. You talk about preventable goals, Adrian. There's no one near him whatsoever. He just has to nod it goalwards at Tottenham Leeds.
It's a jaw dropper in terms of how can you leave him free like that to just have a header unopposed at the far stick. You know, he caught it beautifully, didn't he? It was a really clean header. You know, excellent work from Sarr, but goodness me, that was bad defending from West Ham United, and now they have it all to do, don't they? So, but look, yeah, as I just said, that goal has been coming for a while.
Well, it's an opportunity now for Fernandes in towards Jarrod Bowen inside the area. Bowen trying to squirm away through, and he does. Goalkeeper touches it away. Does Vicario, called into action. Jarrod Bowen managed to manufacture a yard of space for himself and snatched his strike away. And Vicario had to get down low and well to his right-hand side to palm the ball away for a corner kick.
Yeah, good response. Instantly up the other end of the pitch. He really does bundle his way through, Jarrod Bowen. It's a really good left-footed effort. Not convincing from Vicario, but he does enough to push it wide. And now, what can West Ham do from a corner? Souček, the obvious target for James Ward-Prowse here.
Ward-Prowse will take it, right-footed from the left-hand side. 49 minutes played. West Ham trail by a goal to nil. Ward-Prowse swings the corner kick in. Vicario gets a punch on it, up rather than truly out. Header comes back in, but into the arms of Vicario, who tries to launch a counter out for Tottenham, and Xavi Simons takes it on his chest supremely well. Simons against Paquetá, a little nutmeg through the legs of Paquetá. Would have enjoyed that one. Here's Tell bursting into the penalty area, but it's really good defending actually from Walker-Peters, who clips it away to Paquetá on the right-hand side, and West Ham should have brought the ball away. Instead, it's out for a throw for Tottenham.
He's quick, isn't he? Can't Walker-Peters, because Tell isn't slow, and he absolutely motored past him there on the recovery. Carl Walker-Peters. There's a load of West Ham fans who didn't see that goal. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of empty white seats, fans still in the concourse. But it's a familiar tale, I'm afraid. That's the message to them. Your side has conceded from yet another set play. And Pap Sarr, who's been a bit quieter today than he has been in some of the other games. You know, you have to say it's a great header from him.
Chance now for Tottenham, just outside the West Ham penalty area. No free kick, says the referee. Pap Sarr does gather. 5 goals conceded from corners, and we're not exactly deep into the season either.
No, a lot. Some teams might go a whole season not having 5 from corners. So yeah, it's dreadful. Chance
now for Tell. Tell's 30 yards from goal, and it was Tez Tell who tried to bumble away through, couldn't quite do so, thrown to Tottenham on the left-hand side.
Yeah, well, he's been a bit brighter, hasn't he, Tell? He offered nothing in that first half, but twice now he's made dynamic forward runs, trying to make something happen. I'm still really surprised that we haven't seen Richarlison, Brennan Johnson, or maybe Randall Kolo Muani as well.
It's going to be Bergvall to take the throw. It's going to be a long throw for Tottenham. Bergvall scoops it into the air. Romero was the target. Mickey van der Ven is there too. Van der Ven keeps it alive, and that is comfortable for Hermansen in the West Ham United goal. And he just has a little look left and right to see if he could distribute early. He couldn't do so, and West Ham will build from the back. West Ham then in possession, just outside their own penalty area. Mavropanos opts to go long, and he hoists it long looking for Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen, full of beans on that right flank, gets a touch and goes down, wants a free kick, and I think he's going to get a free kick as well. Jed Spence isn't happy at all. It's going to be a yellow card, is there here for Jed Spence, and well, again, it's soft contact, but the arm comes across from Spence onto the back of Jarrod Bowen. I mean, there's not much in that, but Jarrod Bowen went down and won a free kick for West Ham.
There's not much in that at all, and he's absolutely not got control of the ball. Jarrod Bowen, that's going straight out of play. The touch that he nicks away from Jed Spence, but look, clever from him. The referee's forward, and West Ham have a chance here, don't they? They've got two good technicians over it in Paquetá and Ward-Prowse. They have to respond quickly here, otherwise the home fans who had to sit through that mauling from Chelsea will start to get pretty restless. At the moment, they're still with their team.
West Ham just trailing by 1-0. 52 minutes played at London Stadium. Free kick though for West Ham. Souček and others inside the penalty area providing the height. Kilman is there as well. So too Mavropanos. It's going to be Ward-Prowse right-footed to fling the ball into the penalty area, and it was Kilman in the end who got a head on it, but over the crossbar, goal kick Tottenham.
Well, he attacked it really well, Max Kilman. The ball in is decent. The marking actually from Tottenham this time is a little bit slack, but he just makes his run a fraction too early, and that means that he has to crane his neck, and it's a really, really difficult header. Fairness, Van der Ven kind of does enough to put off Kilman there at the moment that really mattered, but at least they're at the right end of the pitch here, West Ham United.
Vicario and Tottenham with a little game of five-a-side just outside their penalty area. It is Jed Spence on the left flank now, who tried to feed it in towards Xavi Simons, and Tell tried to get a touch on it, couldn't quite do so, and West Ham are back in possession. Souček will mop up inside his own half, and he rolls the ball back to his goalkeeper Hermansen, and Hermansen has his studs over the ball, and West Ham will build once more. Souček feeds it again back to his goalkeeper, and Bergvall is applying a little bit of pressure on Hermansen in the West Ham goal, and it is now Souček who left studs in there. What's the colour of the card going to be? It's red. Straight away the referee had absolutely no doubt. Jarrod Gillett dipping into his top pocket, and Souček knows it too, because the ball just got away from him, and on the stretch he raised his studs, and the minute you do that, it's so reckless. He knows he's made a big mistake here. West Ham down to 10. They trail by 1-0, and they have the numerical disadvantage as well. Tomasz Souček with a crazy moment. West Ham with a player set off.
Yeah, look, we're a long, long way away, but I winced the moment he went in for that challenge. The ball bounced up, and he goes studs up, straight through Palhinha, and straight through his sock. We've seen on our monitor the damage that was done. He's lucky he didn't break his leg there, Souček.
Well, he knows straight away, doesn't he?
It's a definite red card. He can have absolutely zero complaints. It's a moment of madness. You cannot dive in like that with your studs up. And he's lucky he's got shin pads on there. It's lucky he's got decent sized shin pads on. So if he got one of those mini ones on, that could absolutely have been a leg breaker from Souček.
I think it's going to be okay, but I mean, Souček knows he's put his team in a whole lot more trouble here. Playing his 7th season in the Premier League with West Ham. He's made over 30 Premier League appearances in each season, and he actually just apologises to the fans, to Souček, raises his arms up and wanders down the tunnel. West Ham have got, well, they've got a real battle on their hands now, trailing by 1-0, and now down to 10.
I don't understand it. The coaching staff giving him a high five as he goes off. What are you high-fiving him for? You've just probably cost your team any chance getting back into this game. You don't say well done, and fans clapping off players that get sent off. I just don't get it. Like, I know that makes me sound really grumpy, but I just don't understand it.
Both moments of the game so preventable as well, the goal and the red card.
Really bad defending for the goal, and just a moment of absolute
Bergval's
madness.
inside the area, and Bergval makes it 2. And West Ham's evening is going from bad to worse, and Tottenham are going level on points with Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table. They double their advantage at London Stadium, and Bergval celebrates with a pocket of travelling Tottenham supporters. The ball just looped into the penalty area, and Bergval did so well to manufacture his body shape and control the header over Hermansen. It's West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Oh, he's a good player, isn't he, Bergval? And in the moment that really mattered, he makes a great choice here with the type of header he goes for. There's no danger at all, and he just sees a bit of space and runs into it. The ball is delicious, and he sees Hermansen off his line, and Hermansen is not the biggest goalkeeper in the world. And that is a quite magnificent looping header on the run from Bergval. Fabulous finish from him. But once again, what are the West Ham United defenders doing?
Well, Lucas Bergval inside the area, just saw the ball onto his head, and the Swede placed it superbly over the goalkeeper. And West Ham really falling apart here.
Yeah, there's no pressure on the ball. You just stay goal side. You go in the runner. How have they looped the ball over Max Kielman for Bergval there? I mean, it's a brilliant pass, but the defenders have gone to sleep, and they've paid a heavy price for that.
Well, Graham Potter is staring at the pitch in his technical area. He won't know where to look. I mean, he would have been so buoyed by that result against Nottingham Forest, but things really could go from bad to worse here, because Tottenham are purring. They have the ball left-hand side, but Walker Peters is going to clip the ball away for a throw-in. How important is it now, Adrian, that this doesn't get really messy for West Ham? Because not just for Graham Potter, but the context of West Ham's form this season. I mean, we've still got over half an hour to play here. Tottenham 2 up, a man up.
Yeah, they've got to keep their heads, haven't they, West Ham? They start to feel sorry for themselves and sort of wish for the time to pass away. They could get beat 4 or 5 again.
Bergval's long throw into the penalty area, and it is cleared for a corner kick. It was Juve who was there. Another corner kick for West Ham to defend.
He's got to get Fulkrug on, hasn't he? I mean,
it's got Wilson on the bench as well.
I mean, just for height. He's just lost Souček. They've been a calamity from corners all game. They've lost, probably their best aerial player. Yeah, it could get messy.
Mohamed Kudus will take the corner kick, left-footed from the right-hand side. It is Kudus, left-footed, who does float the ball into the penalty area towards the near post, and Paulinho, who was there. And as it stands, there's 4 sides with 9 points in the Premier League: Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool and Bournemouth. Of course, Liverpool play tomorrow away at Burnley, and there's going to be a substitution incoming now for West Ham. Brentford Chelsea is the late kick-off today, so the table very much in a state of flux. West Ham do trail by 2-0. It is Tottenham who have the ball at the back through Vicario, and Vicario feeds it out towards Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro back inside for Tottenham, and really half an hour what should be very, very comfortable football.
They should cruise their way to 3 big points now, shouldn't they, Tottenham? And I think on the balance of the game, they do deserve it. The better side in the first half, even though they didn't play the better football, they certainly did enough to score a goal.
Bergval keeps it moving left-hand side, and it's collected now by Jed Spence. Jed Spence just inside the area. Jed Spence just flicks it up towards the back post. Juve was there. Kudus, though, will gather. It's been a good battle that today between Kudus and Juve, and Juve is frustrated the decision hasn't gone in his favour.
Yeah, no, 2 good players, definitely. I do like Juve going forward. He's really dangerous, but you know, he's been physical and combative as well, hasn't he?
So double substitution now for West Ham, half an hour to play at London Stadium. This has gone really badly wrong for Graham Potter, and Magassa's going to make his debut here for West Ham. And well, it's some time to come on, isn't it? Somerville and Fernandes are the two players to come off. Luis Guilherme and Magassa, the two players to come on. The young Brazilian Luis Guilherme. And
Guilherme, I just don't really get that.
19-year-olds, first Premier League appearance of the season. Magassa as well making his debut. Tough conditions to come on as well.
Oh no, Magassa comes with a good reputation. I think he'll make himself a fixture in the starting 11, Magassa, but Guilherme has really done not very much in a West Ham shirt, and they've got Callum Wilson, they've got Nicholas Fulkrug, and as I've been saying all game, they haven't got an outlet, have they? Haven't got anyone to hit. Paquetá's getting deeper and deeper. I know that they're down a player, but how are they going to score? They don't have anyone up front. So let's see. I mean, is it Bowen that's gone up top now? Maybe. I still think that the physicality of Fulkrug would be something that could be handy. It could nick them a goal, but no, it hasn't happened.
It'll be interesting as well to see here, Adrian, just how ruthless Tottenham want to be. I mean, they've got a Champions League game on Tuesday night, but last half hour here, when we've seen already this season how Tottenham can. And West Ham could certainly fold in this kind of situation as Jed Spence has the ball left. That's another corner kick. I mean, if they really want it, there's 3 or 4 goals here for them.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. And why wouldn't you?
You never know how important goal difference could be at the end of the season.
Exactly, like you don't often... The Premier League's tough. It's a really hard league. Not often you get in this position where you've got a man advantage, 2-goal leads. You really can enjoy yourself. And that's what Spurs should look to do now. And yeah, why not cut loose? It's not as if West Ham are offering a great deal of threat at the other end.
It is Xavi Simons with the corner kick, and the goalkeeper gets a punch on it. Pedro Porro will keep it alive and go right-hand side now for Tottenham once again. And Tell is just drifting in from that right flank. He's on his left boot. And it is now Bergvall once again inside the penalty area. Bergvall twisting and turning, still Bergvall. And the eventual strike in is fizzed into the bottom corner. And Spurs are having fun now at London Stadium. And it is beautifully done in the end by Mickey van der Ven to just sweep it home. And Tottenham are really, really having fun. It is West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. West Ham crumbling. Spurs sensational.
Yeah. I want to praise Spurs here because, they have been relentless. They've scored a third, but, wow, defending is so shoddy from West Ham United inside the box. They've just conceded, letting Bergvall make a run into the box untracked. He's done another one. He's run into the box. No one's with him. And nobody's trying to stop Van der Ven scoring a goal. Bergvall just wanders in between 2 players. They all stand off each other. They're all watching. And Mickey van der Ven says, yeah, all right, I'll stick this bottom corner. And it's a really emphatic finish.
Well, Mickey van der Ven inside the area, right-footed, 10 yards out, just helping the ball into the bottom corner. Graham Potter with a deep exhalation on the touchline. How many could this be? Still 25 minutes left to play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for him a bit because it's not his fault. The defenders are just standing there waiting for one another to deal with the problem. It's not down to him really. But the set piece mess is something that they've had time to fix over the international period, and they really haven't. So yeah, look, it has got ugly, and look, what's now become quite a familiar sight here. Unfortunately, it's basically another half-full stadium.
Yeah, we saw them get battered at home against Chelsea. Almost looks as though that result against Nottingham Forest is the anomaly really in their season so far.
Yeah. There was a lot of optimism that they'd turned a corner with that really good win at the City ground, but this has not been pretty at all. And he's got to be under pressure, hasn't he, Graham Potter?
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be under big pressure. First 2 home games of the season, get spanked by Chelsea, and then you get destroyed by Tottenham. It's not good.
West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. Tottenham continuing to come forwards on that left-hand side. It is collected now by Tottenham inside the centre circle. It's all too easy though for Thomas Frank's men. And West Ham players and fans, we just want to hear the full-time whistle here. There's a bit of the game still to play though. Jed Spence goes down the line looking for Xavi Simons. And it is Jed Spence once again on the left-hand side. Finds Simons once more, and Jed Spence was the overlapping run. He does gather. West Ham and Jarrod Bowen are there, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. It's going to be another long throw from Bergvall. Yeah,
there's no let-up, is there, at the moment? They can't get out. They've got no striker, so they're just pinned in. Probably having Bowen up there might work with the current players on the pitch, because at least they can go a little bit longer and maybe use him as an outball, although Wilson is stripped and ready, so maybe he'll perform that role now.
Drops to the edge of the penalty area, and certainly Mohamed Kudus caught hold of it, but slices it eventually over the crossbar. That really would rub salt in the wound if Kudus can find himself a goal tonight. 67 minutes played. West Ham 0, Tottenham 3 is the score. And Paquetá, a little shake of the head, is coming off here for West Ham, and Wilson, who scored off the bench against Nottingham Forest, is on.
Yeah, you can only assume that Fulkrug's definitely not fit. But at least they've got someone up there now that will sort of chase some longer balls and hopefully help them get them up the pitch in Callum Wilson, because the pattern of the game is such that you can see Spurs getting 4 or 5 here quite comfortably.
It's collected now on the left-hand side. Looks as though Richarlison and Udogie are going to come on for Tottenham, as Walker-Peters collects the ball on the right-hand side. It's West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. And West Ham are also down to 10 after Tomáš Souček was sent off. So West Ham have the ball right-hand side. Let's flick forward towards Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen does gather once more on the right flank now for West Ham. Prowse keeps it moving. Walker-Peters in towards Jarrod Bowen. He's inside the penalty area now, Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen with a go at goal, but that is very comfortable indeed for Vicario. And another frustrating moment really for West Ham.
He just curls it around the trailing leg of Van der Ven, but Vicario read that one nice and easily. Yeah, I mean, that shot count was really low, wasn't it, at half-time? Just, I think, 2 shots for West Ham, 4 for Spurs. It's now 7-6 to Tottenham.
West Ham home against Crystal Palace next weekend, then away at Everton. I mean, you wonder how many of these results Graham Potter can survive. Here's Bergvall, left-hand side for Tottenham. Bergvall, the Swede, who scored a lovely headed goal to make it 2-0. Wants it back on the edge of the area. Bergvall with the touch inside. He was looking for Sarr, who opened the scoring, and it is Pape Sarr once again. Pape Sarr now finds Mohamed Kudus. Kudus is inside the penalty area. Kudus flanked by 2, and just delivers the ball back to Pedro Porro. And Tottenham are in possession once more. It is Christian Romero who helps it forward into the penalty area. Pape Sarr was there. West Ham have plenty of bodies behind the ball. Palhinha goes right-hand side and finds Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro now to Pedro Porro once again. He's inside the penalty area by himself. Here is Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus with the effort on goal, and eventually the flag does go up.
Again, Spurs just wander into the danger zone. No one wants to make a challenge.
So Richarlison is going to come on. Destiny Udogie as well. And double substitution then for Thomas Frank. He'll be absolutely delighted at how the second half has indeed panned out. It's going to be like for like as Spence goes off for Udogie. And you imagine Richarlison will be coming on for Tell, but in fact it looks as though Xavi Simons on his debut. What do you make of it? Decent.
Yeah, I think
70 minutes, pretty lively for your first game.
He looks good. Yeah, he's a good footballer, isn't he? Very creative, and he's not electric. He's not particularly speedy down the wing, but he's really clever in tight areas. He's always looking to unlock the door. And it was his corner, wasn't it, that set up that goal for Papsar that sort of broke the deadlock, opened the floodgates. So that was I think he'll be a handy player to have on those set pieces as well for Spurs this season. Yeah, I think he'll be a good signing.
So Richarlison is on, got a couple of goals to his name this season in the Premier League already. And Xavi Simons just shares a smile and an embrace with one or two on the Tottenham bench. It is West Ham who are in possession now, with just less than 20 minutes of the game to play. Mostly forwards now, but Vicario will gather. They're just a feeling around the ground, and I mean, it's going to be a miserable final 20 minutes here, really, for West Ham.
Yeah, you just can't see them sort of launching.
The ground's emptying, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't see them launching any kind of spirited comeback here. West Ham, the body language isn't great. It's a sort of 4-4-1 system, and they're not seeing very much of the ball. Quite understandably, I guess.
Callum Wilson with his first touch of the ball finds Guilherme just inside, but it is Tottenham who have the ball back on the right hand side now as they seek a fourth. And Tottenham comfortable in possession. The game has just dropped in terms of the intensity and the tempo, understandably perhaps. West Ham down to 10, trailing by 3-0. Tottenham with goals from Papsar a couple of minutes into the second half, then Bergvall with a lovely header and Van der Vene's Mohamed Kudus is certainly antagonising a couple of the locals. Kudus once again, his touch is heavy on this occasion. Juve can clip it away. Tottenham just in third gear here. There's no real need for them to be anything more than that. Each of the European commitments, of course, with the Champions League group stages this side. Christmas game on Tuesday night. Bergvall has the ball left-hand side. Bergvall to Palhinha. And the Ole's coming out from the travelling supporters. And what could Tottenham realistically expect this season? I mean, obviously today doesn't define their season, but as I mentioned, I mean, no one's got more points as it stands in the Premier League than them this season so far. What's a realistic expectation?
I think top six.
Tottenham are inside the area once again, looking for number 4. Richarlison is one option inside on the edge of the penalty area. The strike comes in from Palhinha and dribbles away for a throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, they came 17th, so I think maybe they should aim for top 8, and that'd be okay. But you know, they could get Champions League, couldn't they? They could get into the top 5. It's been a good start. Thomas Frank's a good, solid manager. It'd be an incredible achievement, wasn't it, if you went from 17th to 5th or 4th? But I suppose that's got to be the target.
Bergvall with a throw-in. Walker-Peters does clear. Free kick for West Ham. I guess the only catch is that 17th will be seen as a bit of a false economy in terms of a position, and they'd expect, obviously. Yeah,
but they're not going to finish above. Well, Liverpool and Arsenal will be the top 2, won't they? City, I can't see them finishing above City. So,
or Chelsea.
No, not really. So you're already looking at 5th at best. So, and there's a lot of teams that will have their eye on that, good teams. So, aim for top 8. That's a step in the right direction. Challenge for trophies in the cup competitions. Get to the knockouts of the Champions League, and I think that'll be a good first season for Thomas Frank.
West Ham are in possession, and they have the ball on the left-hand side with Juve, and Kudus wins it back, and Kudus manages to poke the ball away to Sarr, and Tottenham will just retain the ball just shy of the halfway line, and Bergvall up and over the halfway line. Lucas Bergvall finds Richarlison, his first meaningful touch of the football. Back in field towards Kudus. Kudus just dances past one or two, and Mohamed Kudus by the corner flag now, and Kudus keeps it alive as well, and Pedro Porro brings it in field, and Palhinha has the ball once more. Pedro Porro to Palhinha. The Ole's present at London Stadium. Here is Kudus. Kudus finds Pedro Porro, who was just outside the perimeter of the pitch, and it's going to be a goal kick West Ham.
Right, yeah. Quality play from Spurs. Little 1- and 2-touch football, pass and move. West Ham seems to have given up tracking some of these Tottenham players. But yeah, we talked, didn't we, when it was 2-0, can they go and have some fun? Well, they definitely are.
So Tottenham leading by 3-0, and it looks as though there's going to be a triple substitution here for Tottenham. Nottingham, Johnson, 2 of the 3 coming on. Chance to give everyone a few minutes, really, I guess, in a no-pressure situation like this, Adrian.
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah, Odegaard and Johnson definitely stripped him. I think it was Kevin Dance, I'm not sure. Yeah, down there. So, yeah, get some minutes into the legs of the players. Obviously, now that the Champions League's kicking in, the League Cup, there's going to be a lot of football. So you do need those fringe players to get up to speed. Yeah, he's going to have to rotate, and that's something Thomas Frank hasn't really had the luxury of doing before, is it, at Brentford? So it's a sort of new skill that he'll be learning on the hoof.
A real different challenge for him at Tottenham. So just over 13 minutes left to play. West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. 3 goals scored in the second half. Also a red card for Thomas Soucek. And it's been an absolutely miserable second 45 minutes of football so far for West Ham, and it could get worse. Tottenham in possession on the left-hand side, and Bergvall does gather. Bergvall has been really busy in this second period, aside from his goal. Palhinha now collects to the left-hand side of the centre circle. Palhinha just clips it infield, and it's all very much walking pace for Tottenham. And they have the ball now inside the centre circle. No real pressure on the ball from West Ham. How much pressure does this put on Graham Potter for the next couple of games?
Yeah, I mean,
massive.
Loads. I mean, just if he gets a couple more games. I mean, West Ham are quite loyal to their managers, but the hierarchy must be getting sick of these batterings on home turf.
I mean, if it had been this result instead of the Nottingham Forest result before the international break, you wonder whether he would have survived it. Udogie then left-hand side for Tottenham. He's got 3 options inside the penalty area, one of which was Richarlison, but Hermansen does collect.
Yeah, it's just like, do we really see any improvement from the Hammers? Are they giving us any sort of green shoots of recovery? Not really. I mean, they did it against Forest, they did play well, but maybe that's just because Forest were poor.
I mean, he switched the formation against Forest and went to that back 4 again.
I think they're better with a back 4, and I don't think they've been terrible on the ball. In the first half, they were pretty good, weren't they? Knocked it around really nicely. But
Paquetá takes his chance and maybe looks like a different game.
But they've got no proper striker tonight either fit, and you could look at that and say, is that the right or wrong decision for Potter?
So, triple substitution now for Tottenham. Lucas Bergvall is one of the 3 players to come off. It was a beautiful goal from the Swedes. Rivera's ball into the penalty area. Lucas Bergvall helped the header on. It was goal number 2. And then Mickey van der Ven's finish for 3, assisted by Bergvall. Thomas Frank is having a smile and a chat with Bergvall as he comes off the pitch. So, triple substitution with Kevin Danso, Odegaard and Brennan Johnson, the 3 players who are now on. And Thomas Frank is taking time to have a chat with Mickey van der Ven as well. He's one of the 3 players to replace Tel, Bergvall and van der Ven.
All smiles down there in the technical area. He is a good guy, isn't he, Thomas Frank? I think most people like him. You can imagine he's brilliant with the players.
How important is likeability these days in the Premier League? I mean, are we past maybe the era of coaches shouting and screaming and teacups? Is it a different kind of era and how you've got to manage these?
Yeah, I think a manager needs to have a bit of an aura, and they need to be strong in their decision making. But yeah, there's no teacups anymore. I don't think that really
was
happens.
there ever?
Yeah.
Edge of the penalty area now. Mohamed Kudus goes down, wants a free kick. He's not going to get it, and West Ham will bring the ball away.
Yeah, modern players, they wouldn't respond well to it, I don't think.
Now that's why likeability is so important.
I think so.
It's a different form of motivation.
Yeah, well, you want to like really like your manager in a way. You want to play for him. You want to run through brick walls for him. You want to get success for a person that you like, don't you? Look, you got to remember, you got to spend most of your week with this coaching staff. So if you're having fun, there's smiles on faces. It's a more enjoyable existence, isn't it? So yeah, I think Thomas Frank, he's very good man manager, I reckon.
West Ham have the ball outside their area on the right-hand side, wedged towards the halfway line, and Tottenham through. Johnson, the substitute, bites back in. It's actually really rare to see a Premier League game where everything's done with half an hour to play.
Yeah, it's a pity really for us neutrals, I guess, that the game's done and dusted. But look, Tottenham fans will be loving this.
Yeah.
3-0 up against West Ham. You know, not the best of friends, these two clubs, and it's a trouncing, isn't it? Great second half from them. Took their chances, and they're playing with a bit of swagger now. And those fans away to the right, having a great evening out in East London.
They conceded 11 goals this season ahead of West Ham. Sides closest to that is Nottingham Forest, who've conceded 8. Wolverhampton Wanderers rather conceded 9. But I mean, it's not pretty however you slice and dice it for West Ham. Tottenham level on points at the top of the table. If they were to score one more, they'd be level on goal difference with Arsenal. 8 minutes left to play. West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. The game is being played in second gear as Pedro Porro does now gather on the right-hand side. He's got Johnson in support, just beyond Johnson though, and it's out of play for a throw for West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not that many West Ham fans left in this ground, and it's just become too familiar a sight. You know, when Arsenal had a couple of handsome wins here, Chelsea, others as well. This stadium's emptying way too often, too early. I don't think there's a lot of goodwill, unfortunately, for Graham Potter. But the thing is, for someone coming in, is it that attractive a job with the squad that they've got? You know,
he's won 2 of now 11 home games in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's
he's
not.
got Palace home next Saturday.
I'd fancy Palace. Palace are really strong away sides. I don't think they did enough in terms of strengthening their defence this summer. The midfield is still way short. I think Magassa will help, but the midfield is just not right. It's just not enough legs in there.
Tottenham have the ball with Johnson, who tries to flick it on towards Pedro Porro, and Juve got a little touch on it perhaps, but the ball is out of play. And so West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. It is West Ham who have the ball at the back. For Tottenham, well, they host Villarreal on Tuesday night in the Champions League group stages. They're away at Brighton next weekend. Home against Doncaster Rovers in the third round of the Carabao Cup. What another goal here though to Tottenham. They're inside the area. Charlison wanted it played square, didn't come to him, and Tottenham have a throw in as Jarrod Bowen's down now, clutching his right ankle. My goodness, when it rains it pours.
Yeah, that would just top it off, wouldn't it, for Iron supporters. Jarrod Bowen's not moved. He's on all fours. Seems in a bit of pain. It's Jed Spence that comes in on him. And I don't know whether there's contact from Spence. Maybe he's jarred his Achilles, or maybe he just got a little couple of studs down the back of it that I couldn't see on the replay there. Hopefully he's okay, because Jarrod Bowen is someone that gives West Ham supporters hope every time he plays.
So it is a throw-in for West Ham, and the ground now is at least 2/3 empty. West Ham building from the right back slot. I'm sure you've been in dressing room, say, Jim, where you know the manager is a result or two away from losing their job. How does that impact things?
I mean, it impacts different players different ways.
If you're in the team or not.
Yeah, exactly. Those in the team, those that you think he really likes me, then of course you want to do it for him, you want to turn it around. And this wasn't a bad performance up until the goal, but I blame that opening goal on West Ham and their coaching staff for the set-up at the corners. It's just really bad, and they looked so vulnerable. And once that first one went in, they just collapsed. Their heads went down, and it was game over. Obviously, Souček's red compounded things. What was he thinking? And that was a bad one, wasn't it?
Really bad one from Souček. I mean, he knew straight away. The referee was a couple of metres away from the incident.
He's not a nasty guy, is he?
Sure.
You know, I think he's very popular.
Just a
figure
misjudgment, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was really dangerous. Studs up.
He's one of the experienced heads out there.
Yeah. Just obviously the situation got to him, and his mind was a little bit frazzled, and makes a bad decision, and it's done. The game's over.
So, West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. It's just keep ball for Tottenham the last 5 minutes or so. And Tottenham coming forwards now on the left-hand side. An opportunity inside the penalty area now as Udogie just hangs up the cross. I think he was looking for Richarlison, but West Ham managed to scrape it away. And Tottenham will come once more. Gathered on the left-hand side for Tottenham. Everyone behind the ball now for West Ham. Just trying not to concede another goal. They're going to just get down the tunnel, won't they?
Yeah, they can't wait for the final whistle, trust me, these West Ham players.
It is Udogie who had the ball on the left flank. It is an absolute procession now for Tottenham. So West Ham are going to make a substitution. And the other thing is going to come on for West Ham. I mean, minutes and minutes, but do you want to come on in this situation?
Well, it's not ideal. I feel for Freddie Potts, really. Played most of pre-season. He's highly rated midfielder. He's not getting a look in. What value were maybe to give him some minutes, some experience.
Pedro Porro biting in, but West Ham trying to come away with the ball, not doing so effectively. And here come Tottenham once again. Can they get a fourth goal here at London Stadium? It is Tottenham who are in possession, and Pap Sarr is 30 yards from goal. Pap Sarr sweeps it right hand side for Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro now considers the early cross. Pedro Porro with the ball in. Can't beat the first man though. And Pedro Porro trying to pick up the pieces once again. West Ham will manage to scrap it away, but Tottenham plunge it back into the challenges. 4 games played, 11 goals conceded, a couple of thrashings at home as well. Home against Chelsea now, home against Tottenham. Those are London derbies.
Yeah. Terrible for Potter. Really terrible. And it would maybe be fortunate to sort of ride it out. I think he's a good coach, but it's just not working.
Jarrett Bowen inside the penalty area looking for a consolation. He's not going to get it because Vicario does gather.
Yeah. I loved his work at Brighton. I thought he was great. And it's just he's struggled since, hasn't he, Potter? But
did the Chelsea job just rattle him a bit?
I think so. Yeah, it's a tough gig. And maybe it was too big a jump at the time for him. He did quite a modest playing career. It's a different mindset at the biggest clubs. And you just don't get along.
When it turns like this, I mean, there's so few examples of it turning around when you're in this kind of situation. When things start to go against you in this way, when your form is like this. I mean, throughout the Premier League, it so rarely does turn around.
Yeah, occasionally it will, but more often than not.
For West Ham to have a great season from here would feel like a really bold bet.
You wouldn't fancy it. But would another coach come in and get more out of the group? It's not the strongest of squads.
Can't go down there, can they?
No, I don't think they'll go down. No, I think they'll be okay. But
we'll clip that up, come in.
But look, there'll be a lot of West Ham fans at this game tonight that are worried about that. Yeah, no question.
Tottenham in possession. We played 90 minutes. There's going to be 5 additional minutes, so there's 5 minutes still in this game if Tottenham want to be really ruthless. It hasn't looked like it the last 20 minutes though.
Andy Irving is standing with his hands behind his back. He hasn't moved for about 5 minutes. He's been waiting to come on, and the ball's just not gone out because Tottenham are keeping it. They're literally playing cat and mouse with the West Ham players.
Johnson with the ball in towards Richarlison. Hasn't had a moment in the game since coming on as Richarlison. Sar's 25 yards from goal. He's got Pedro Porro in support. Pedro Porro to the right-hand side of the penalty area. Now Papsar. Papsar has plenty of options inside the box. Pedro Porro with the cross. Pedro Porro zips the ball into the penalty area. It's a great save on the rebound. Incredible double save from Hermansen. Flag might have been up anyway, but in a turgid early evening for West Ham, at least that's something for the goalkeeper to take on.
Oh, it's a great save, isn't it? The first one. Porro whips in a beauty of a ball, and it's Kudus. Is it Kudus? Yeah, it's Kudus with the volley.
It was Johnson who was offside on the follower, so Kudus' effort would have counted.
Yeah, but the rebound would have been disallowed.
Yeah.
But excellent double save from Hermansen. But the West Ham fans delighted that Kudus didn't get his goal on his return to this stadium.
Irving on, Ward-Prowse off. 11 of his 12 appearances prior to this have been as a substitute. Well, Thomas Frank could be delighted. He's inside his technical area. Knows it's a long season to come. Of course, Ange Postecoglou had a great start as well, but it feels different, doesn't it?
It feels like he's a safe pair of hands. Yeah. They're not going to be easy to beat. Tottenham. It might not always be pretty, but they'll be tougher. Definitely more abrasive. And I guess it's a good win, and has to go down as a really strong start to the season. You know, clean sheet wins at the Etihad and London Stadium. Very nice.
Tottenham in possession. We played 2 of the allocated 5 minutes at the end of the 90, and Pedro Porro is the option right-hand side. Pedro Porro now does have it for Tottenham. Do they want a 4th goal here? Pedro Porro just cutting back inside, and Romero is looking for a little bit of support and finds it now. Chance now for Brennan Johnson inside the area. Brennan Johnson with a cutback. Richarlison was there. It's Mohamed Kudus, and somehow West Ham managed to survive by throwing bodies in front of the ball. It's been an absolutely torrid contest for West Ham this evening, and that is a very, very small win for them in the context of the 90 minutes. Mohamed Kudus inside the area on his left foot, 8 yards out, sorted his feet out well enough, but eventually when he got the strike in, cannoned off the substitute, Irving, and behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he defended it well, didn't he? He really wanted to make that block, Andy Irving. But what a pass from Romero. Absolutely magnificent forward pass to Brennan Johnson. Yeah, fantastic there. Deserved a goal.
Corner kick then for Tottenham on the left-hand side. They've got 5 players inside the penalty area, and they very nearly got goal number 4. It was once again floated in, came off a West Ham head and behind for another corner kick. And why does it look so nervy in there for West Ham? It can't just be a height thing. I mean, it's the position, it's the fact they know they've conceded so many from corners.
Yeah, I don't know the marking set up, whether the players aren't comfortable with it, I'm not quite sure, but it's a very, very crowded 6-yard box, and it's so hard for the keeper. I think it stems from the keeper and maybe a lack of trust in him to come out and deal with these balls into the box. But they look edgy every time.
Corner kick then from Mohamed Kudus into the penalty area, and it very nearly was 4-0 there because Palhinha's touch on went over the crossbar, and that might just be that in terms of the contest. And well, fabulous evening for Thomas Frank, Adrian.
Yeah, really good. Some excellent individual performances. I think, Bergvall was terrific when he was on. You know, Kudus, I think, has shone. It's a good debut from Simmons. Yeah, Romero, Van der Ven, excellent. So it's been a good evening's work from Tottenham Hotspur, and it's turned out to be a pretty easy win, hasn't it?
Didn't really feel like it in the first half. I mean, Tottenham were probably the better side, but it was pretty tight. But there does go the full-time whistle. It is West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. Goals from Papsar from a corner, Bergvall, and Van der Ven. Souček sent off for West Ham. West Ham 0.
know his players inside out. And at this moment in time, you've got to say he's doing a sterling job.
Yeah. It's mad to think there were doubts about him last season, weren't there? I mean, genuinely, a lot of Chelsea fans were going, are we going to... Is it time to get rid? Don't like the way he plays, this, that, and they won the Club World. And, and I think it was the fact that they beat that PSG in that way. It probably needed them to win that final for him to truly win them over. Is that fair? Has he won them over?
I think we can be a little bit arrogant as supporters, and Chelsea, a lot of them might have been looking and saying, well, do you know what? He's not a big enough name. He's not a big enough name for us. He's someone else I played against, Enzo Maresca, played in West Brom's midfield in the Championship. Again, done his due diligence, done his coaching, worked his way up. Why shouldn't he get a chance in front of a so-called big name? And he is proving that it can be done.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, he really has earned his spurs, though, as a coach elsewhere, hasn't he? In particular, Enzo Maresca. Look, we are just over 5 minutes away from kick-off. The G-Tech they don't half know how to put on a light show, by the way, at the G-Tech. It's always fabulous, the atmosphere before games. We've got Blues fans away to the left-hand side, some of them filming the atmosphere at one of their arch rivals, if not an arch enemy, near the top of the table usually. But they haven't got the best record against Brentford, albeit they did win one of the two last season at Stamford Bridge. Can they come to the G-Tech and do it once again? We'll find out in a few minutes' time on Premier League Live.
Only one of four current Premier League sides Cole Palmer hasn't scored against yet. The Ingalap's injury is likely to keep him out until late November, which means João Pedro will more than likely need to leave the line for the foreseeable rather than a slightly deeper or off the left role, which we've seen in recent weeks. Facundo Buonanotte comes in for his Chelsea debut. He does have a G-Tech goal already to his name, having knocked for Leicester whilst on loan there last season. Wesley Fofana and Joel Hato also come into the back four, with a little bit of a reshuffle there. Reece James, Malo Gusto and Mark Cucurella all named on the bench. Hato's first Chelsea start, but experience is not going to be an issue for a 19-year-old who's on the cusp of 150 senior appearances already for club and country.
To TalkSport's coverage of Brentford against Chelsea from the G-Tech Community Stadium. I'm your commentator Toby Gillis, alongside me the former Tottenham midfielder Kev Watson. This is Premier League Live. Let's remind you of the team news. Brentford 2 changes from defeat
against Sunderland before the international break. Dango Ouattara is benched. Mikkel Damsgaard, really unfortunately, is ill. Matthias Jensen and Ethan Pinnock come in what looks like a change of the system. Quivin Kelleher is therefore in goal. The back three, we think, will be in this order. Nathan Collins, the captain, Ethan Pinnock and Sepp Vandenberg. That might change, of course. Michael Coyote and Keane Lewis Potter right and left. Midfield three, Jordan Henderson, Matthias Jensen, Yeho Yarmolyuk, and Igor Thiago and Kevin Schade are the strikers. For Chelsea, 4 changes from a win over Fulham. Marc Cucurella and Malo Gusto are benched. Liam Delap is injured. Estevao is out. He's either ill, there are some reports suggesting he is, or it might just be that he was late back from international duty. In their places, Wesley Fofana and Jarell Harto at the back, Jamie Gittins, and a debut for Facundo Buonanotte in that number 10 position. They have Robert Sanchez in goal. I think it'll be Wesley Fofana at right back. It could equally be Tosin Adarabioyo. Trevor Chalobah is going to be the other centre half, and then Jarell Harto, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, the captain of the midfield pairing, Pedro Neto right, Jamie Gittins left, Buonanotte in the middle, and Joao Pedro is the man to lead the line this evening. We are, 20 seconds away from kickoff. What a night this is for Buonanotte. What a bizarre career, really, he's had in English football so far. The move to Brighton, where he never fully made himself first choice, then relegated last season with Leicester, now starting for the world champions Chelsea in the West London derby after a bit of a surprise loan move on deadline day. It will be Brentford that get us underway in their red and white stripes, black shorts, white socks, or black and white socks I should say, shooting from left to right as the referee gets us underway. And it's an interesting kick-off from Brentford, for whom Schade played it very short to Jordan Henderson. They've immediately worked it out to Coyote on the right-hand side. Then comes the early cross from Henderson. The ball is dealt with by Chelsea, and immediately there is a foul then on Joao Pedro by Nathan Collins. It is a free kick, and I don't think I've ever seen kick-off taken like that before.
Would you class a kick-off as a set piece?
A set piece?
It's a very good question.
Because that was, it was interesting. I don't know what it quite achieved, but it was different.
Well, they got an early ball into the box that was dealt with correctly. Should confirm to you that it is Wesley Fofana on the right of the back three, the back four I should say, for Chelsea. They do have 2 recognised right backs on the bench, by the way, in Reece James and Malo Gusto. The rest of their bench, Marc Cucurella, Cole Palmer, who's just recovering from injury, Philip Jorgensen is the goalkeeper, Andre Santos, Tyreek George, Josh Achiampong and Alejandro Garnacho, who will be hoping for his Chelsea debut today. Long awaited. He wanted to move there in January, didn't get that one, finally got the move on deadline day. Alejandro Garnacho to West London. Brentford's bench, the goalkeeper is Hakon Valdimarsson, Aaron Hickey, Rico Henry, Reece Nelson, who could make his debut as well after a move from Arsenal, Fabio Carvalho, Frank Onyeka, Dango Ouattara, Christopher Ayer and Vitali Janelt, the German. Chelsea in possession, just on halfway towards the right of the centre circle. Back with the dyed-haired figure of Wesley Fofana, gives it to Tosin Adarabioyo, and to his left one more for Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah receives it back from Moises Caicedo, another man who's been out on international duty, as so many of this Chelsea squad have been, although it should be pointed out that it was mentioned to me that Buonanotte, who, if you're surprised to hear him starting, you may be less surprised when you hear that they had an inter-club friendly amongst those that did not go out on international break during the window. And as Trevor Chalobah very nearly gives the ball away to Schade, fortuitous that it ran on to Fofana, and Chelsea still have it. That Buonanotte scored a hat-trick in that game, I'm told. And all the Chelsea players went, "Oh, you're quite good, aren't you?" And I wonder whether a little bit of nudging has gone to Enzo Maresca to go, look, if Cole Palmer's not fully fit, give him the go from the start. Here goes Gittins down the left-hand side, the Chelsea number 11. In it goes to Buonanotte, edge of the area. Buonanotte tries a bobbled ball through. Coyote will have to prevent that going behind for a corner. And then the clearance by Nathan Collins comes off of a Chelsea body. I think that might have been Caicedo. And that is a goal kick for Brentford away to our left-hand side.
Well, we've had 3 minutes toes. It's been an extremely competent start from the away team, as you would expect. They will have the majority of the ball this evening. I don't think anyone would doubt that. But apart from that kick-off and the early cross, Brentford didn't touch the ball for nearly 2.5 minutes there, which in terms of a game of football is a long time just to be chasing shadows.
How much of a miss is Damsgaard tonight, by the way? We
big miss.
Talked about
big miss, because what they will have, here we go.
Igor Thiago picks up for Brentford towards the left-hand side, 20 yards inside the Chelsea half now. He makes up some ground down the left. He would be the man, though, to pick up a cross. He's got past Enzo Fernandez and hung up a ball. That's easy for the man in the orangey-red goalkeeper kit. Away to the right, Robert Sanchez to claim. I was just saying he would have been the man in the middle there you'd wanted. And in the end he crossed to, beyond those that were there, Sharda among them, and into the arms of the keeper.
Well, we're going back to Damsgaard. He is that little bit of quality in what Keith Andrews will know, that in general he will have a team that will need to absolutely work their socks off every single week, every single game to get results. Damsgaard is that little bit of quality that they need to open up teams.
Wesley Fofana could have done with a little bit more quality there as he plays it out to the right hand side and straight out of play. And Brentford have it back with Vandenberg, who is the right side of the three. Does tend to play to the left of Collins in a 4 as Coyote runs into trouble, and Chelsea attack with Joao Pedro giving it to Buonanotte, back to Pedro in the box. That's a vital intervention, diving at his feet by Collins to block the shot when Joao Pedro looked like he had a relatively simple finish. Still 0-0, but Chelsea threatening early doors.
Well, we were singing Coyote's praises off air, wasn't we, and about how good we think he is and what a prospect he is. But he just picks the ball up there and runs inside into traffic, and Chelsea take it off of him. And from there, well, in the end, it's a really good block.
Yeah, they will be delighted that they've managed to keep hold of their captain, Nathan Collins, at Brentford. I spotted, I don't know how serious it was as they go long. I'll have more on that in a moment. Igor Thiago's given it to Sharda, who's in the box. Here come Brentford. Sharda, touch, deflected, wide. Could have gone anywhere from the German, the shot after it took the touch off the defender. And Chelsea, from what was really a relatively simple long ball forward that Thiago let drop over his shoulder, volleyed it to his left for Sharda, very nearly found themselves opened up.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Keane Lewis Potter hits the ball there about 70 yards. It's a wonderful touch from Thiago into Sharda, and he's unlucky in the end. It's a really good block from Chelsea, but that's just a Route 1 ball.
They're taking the corner short. There's Yarmolenko, ball in towards Sharda, who found himself goal side of the defence there, but sort of headed it from an awkward angle, and he was a long way out. Would have taken something, I mean, not just special but miraculous if he'd have found a route to goal there, and it went well wide. It's a goal kick for Chelsea. Yeah, I think 6 gone 0-0.
Yeah, I think Chelsea done well there. General rule of thumb is there's a short corner and the ball goes backwards. Every time that ball goes backwards, you move a couple of yards. They will know that they don't want to be on Sanchez's toes when deliveries are coming in the box. So as soon as the ball goes backwards, that back 4 has to squeeze out.
Here comes Jensen for Brentford. Tries to loft it over the Chelsea defence. Can't quite manage it. If you've got memories as a sort of recent Premier League fan of Brentford having a good record against Chelsea, you're right, except for the fact that the wins have all been at Stamford Bridge. And in fact, you have to go back 88 years for Brentford's last home league win over Chelsea. Extraordinary to think. 1938, Bobby Reid scoring the only goal at Griffin Park in a 1-0 win. Technically still 87 years, isn't it, that, but not far away. Long ball away by Brentford, and there's Jordan Henderson in a foot race against Facundo Buonanotte, incidentally, who's the man that's come back to do the defending in the left back position, and that was how can I put it, a veteran on the chase there down the right wing.
Yeah.
As a yellow card has been flashed by our referee. Was that to Igor Thiago? Yes, he's caught Chalobah and pulled him back, and it's a yellow card.
He's really willing, isn't he? Jordan Henderson, yeah, little third man run, but I don't think he was ever going to get there first.
Our referee, for those interested in that sort of thing today, Stuart Atwell. And I think it's really nice to see Igor Thiago doing well, because he came, didn't he, with big boots to fill when he replaced Ivan Toney in the summer a year ago.
and then got that injury right at the start. Massive injuries last season. Came back for the last 4 games. And it's now 2 goals in 4 league starts for Brentford, if you include the one that came last season. £33 million from Bruges he cost, where he scored 29 goals in 55 games, and he's just beginning to spend, to pay that money back. It's 3 and 4 in all competitions.
Yeah, Jordan Henderson got a big job on tonight, Tobes. He's the one who'll be looking after Buonanotte in that 10 role. They call it the 6 now, don't they? The 6, that role, just sitting in front of the back 3, back 4, Jordan Henderson.
Played for England for the 84th time during the international break, as Gittins attacks down the left for Chelsea, up against Coyote, the Italian. Checks away from him. Jensen's back helping out. Oh, and there's a bit of a miscommunication, or no communication at all between Jensen and Coyote, and he's fortunate, I think, Jensen there, that Gittins is adjudged to have fouled Jensen and given away the free kick to Brentford in the right back position. 9 gone. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0 on Premier League Live with Kev Watson and me, Toby Gillis, as Enzo Maresca, smart autumn coat, would you call that? Looks a bit woolly maybe for me, but jumper underneath. It's black, cold out. It's been a hot day in London for other reasons, but it's not as cold as he looks tonight, I don't think. Long, bouncing, awkward ball forward towards Igor Thiago. He might fall to Jan Molyuk ahead of Fofana. Enzo Fernandez emerges with it, but he's forced out of the ball. Thiago gives it back to Jan Molyuk. Now a lofted one out to the right-hand side looking for Coyote. I don't think Gittins knew he was there, and Coyote will pick it up near the corner flag. Gets some support from Jensen. He goes first time into the box. Awkward up and under really for Chalobah. Oh, and he was playing for that. He waited for a tiny touch as he jumped for the ball from Igor Thiago. He got it, and that is a free kick for the Sierra Leone-born England international, Trevor Chalobah.
Yeah, I think that's what you call buying a free kick of the highest order. But I think what we've already seen is that soon as Brentford get in wide areas, they're not going to hang around and crossing the ball. That will be crossed as soon as they get a chance, as we just saw there.
Here comes Chalobah stepping out of defence to the right for the Chelsea skipper, Enzo Fernandez. I wonder if the manager just thought, he's got the same name as me, can't be bad, given the captain's armband. Possibly not. That's won by Buonanotte again. Plenty of industry about him in the early stages. Gives it to Gittins. Gittins fouled by Coyote. And the fans are not convinced. And neither, it has to be said, are the Brentford players.
And neither am I, I'll be totally honest, because that's strength of him taking the ball off Gittins. That's not a foul. That's just strength. Gittins goes to ground and then clearly fouls Coyote.
Yeah. You're a fan of his, aren't you?
Yeah, big fan. From the moment, I can't remember the game and what game it was, but he came on as a substitute and he made a real impact down that right-hand side. Real strong boy, willing runner, works really hard. And I think he's got a big career ahead of him, so.
Yeah, Italian under-21 international is Michael Coyote. Just 21 years of age, former Fiorentina man. He's got licence and energy to get forward. 1 assist so far in his 16 appearances for Brentford. As Neto and Enzo Fernandez line this up. Fernandez moves away, Neto floats the ball in. There's the header! And there's the save from Kevin Kelleher. I think Tosin Adarabioyo would have been offside, so it wouldn't have counted. Yeah, he was well off. He ran too early, then the delivery came in. Decent delivery from Pedro Neto.
They've done well there, Brentford, because I, as a coach, would always tell my defenders, you do not drop into your area until that player that's taking it has his last step before taking it. A lot of defenders and defences, as a player starts running up to take a free kick, they'll already be going back in, and that's where forwards get in. They were brave there, and they stood and waited, and forwards will always want to get in there to try and get the run on their.
Can I ask something that I never understand? In that scenario, why would you never tell your players actually just dash forwards and play basically the entirety of the opposition attack offside? I'll ask you that in a moment. Pedro Neto coming forward down the right, delivers the ball in, dealt with on the left edge of the 6-yard box by Ethan Pinnock, and that's good work down the left as well by Yarmoliuk to just hold up Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez, and they've been forced back to the halfway line.
It's funny you should make that point, because when I played for Reading under Alan Pardew, we did exactly that.
Oh, did you?
We had a little shout.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I've often thought just once in a while, because it would make your opponent think.
We actually got in and squared a goal like it once from defending a free kick. And the way it used to work, we had a lad called Baz Savage who got injured.
I used to commentate on Baz Savage for Tranmere.
So, because he got injured, there was a little tribute to him. The shout was, pick up Baz. Any wide free kick, it was pick up Baz.
It's a free kick to Chelsea, by the way, high up on the right-hand side, but you've got time to finish the story, I suspect.
So, A.D. Williams played for Wales, played for Reading, played for Wolves, centre-half. He would either say, leave it, they know it, which meant you were still going to do it, or forget it. Forget it means no, you're staying in. Right? So you had to be switched on. Anyone switches off, it could cost you. Anyway, Marcus Hanneman, who was in goal, would know that we're going to all push out, and then you'd literally have, because they were all up attacking, you could break with 6-7 players, because he'd come and claim it, and then you're in business.
Wow. Well, there you go. See, I could be a coach.
Yep.
I've often wondered why you never see it. Anyway, Chelsea free kick is a really good position, level with the penalty spot, wide on the right-hand side, come back short to Caicedo. Can they get a cross in now? Yes, they can. Plenty of time to do so. Chalobah's underneath it. Chalobah into the sky, and an easy clutch by the man in green away to our left, Quivin Keller, who rolls it to Collins, who's the central of the three centre-backs, and tried to find Lewis Potter. That was poor, frankly, straight at Fofana. Here's Fernandez in the centre circle, forward to Buonanotte. I mean, he will know, Buonanotte, that with all the furore around Esteval and the quality of Cole Palmer, that this is a rare opportunity for him to shine. He's going to be working his socks off tonight to try and find a way. And Chelsea are coming forward again through Pedro Neto, just got crowded out, and Yarmoliuk forces Keane Lewis Potter back towards the corner flag, and Ethan Pinnock will complete the clearance. Chest down by Schade. Fofana gets a touch onto it. Caicedo wins it in the air. It'll drop to Fernandez. Now down the right-hand side, there's a bit of space for Pedro Neto to João Pedro along the byline. He tries to get the cross in. It bobbles underneath one defender towards another, and it's Collins who spoons it behind. Chelsea corner, their first of the game. It is Brentford 0, Chelsea 0.
Well, Enzo Fernandez, he's a player, isn't he? He's just brought one out the sky there. There was all sorts of spin on it, and he's just made it sit down on the floor, little roll out, and then they're in business.
You'd hope he'd be a player at 150.
Yeah, well, you would, but he is a proper player.
Caicedo gives it to Neto out on the far side. I think the Brentford fans think that he dived for the free kick that created the chance down the right-hand side. Now the ball into the box again towards Fofana. That runs beyond him, and it'll be picked up in the right-back position by Michael Coyote. Again, he looks like he might have run himself into trouble there. Just the Italian got the toe ahead of Facundo Buonanotte and got the help from Schade. Now Igor Thiago down the right-hand side. Goodness me, very nearly sold it short to Vandenberg, but he was there ahead of João Pedro, and Quivin Keller has it. And they look like they're living dangerously at times, Brentford, in positions where they needn't. Maybe they've got out now, and here they come forward through Collins. Up against Harto. Gets it away from him and moves it to Yarmoliuk, who's gone one more to Keane Lewis Potter. 4 in the box in red and white. In it goes. That's poor. Straight bent into Sanchez, and he will bowl it out quickly to Caicedo. End to end at the moment, this. Still 0-0, 17 on the clock. Gittins comes back for Caicedo. In the centre circle, works it along the halfway line to Fofana. Wesley Fofana comes back to Tosin. This fixture was 0-0 last season. Chelsea have not lost in their last 5 visits to Brentford, 4 of those in the Premier League, and then 1 in the league back in 1947.
I can see where Keith Andrews is coming from with this back 3/5 when you're defending your toes, because you've got Coyote and
Lewis Potter
that love getting forward. They'll do their defensive duties as well.
As Chalobah looks for the ball in behind, found Pedro Neto, and I don't think he expected it. That was a stunning ball in behind, and I'm not 100% sure that Lewis Potter fully knew that Pedro Neto was there. It was almost, in fact it was too late by the time he realised, but I don't know that Neto didn't realise he didn't know, if that even makes sense.
Well, do you know what? That ball was pinpoint perfect. I think Lewis Potter knew he was there, but he just couldn't do anything about it because it was absolutely on a plate. Difficult to control though on this skiddy pitch.
That's a lovely bit of work by Quiveen Kelleher, who's managed to play the ball out wide towards Lewis Potter. He headed it down for Yarmolyuk, but it was just a little slip from Sharda as he tried to come back and collect the pass. So Chelsea now attack through Gittins down the left-hand side. There's the cross into the arms of Kelleher. That's good goalkeeping, that, commanding of the area, came to the edge of the 6-yard box and quickly goes up towards Igor Thiago. They clearly fancy that as a route to goal today, the direct one. That time it was won by Tosin Adarabioyo.
Yeah, absolutely, it was 1v1, wasn't it? But getting back to that point on Brentford's shape, I think there's at least 3 of those players that it suits, and that's Lewis Potter, it's Coyote, and it's also suiting Jordan Henderson because he's got another 2 bodies in midfield with him. He don't want to be in a 2 these days. He wants to be in a 3 with legs around him.
Chelsea attacking again. That's a poor touch, that by Joao Pedro, and he runs into Yarmolyuk, who then in turn loses out to Moises Caicedo. By the way, I think one of the players to watch this season is Yehor Yarmolyuk. I think he is going to be a proper player. He's able to do that destroyer role for Ukraine. He'll play in a much more attacking position. He has got a goal in him, albeit not really yet for Brentford. There's a real player in there. He's another to watch this season, I think, as Chelsea give the ball away, but Vandenberg couldn't find a teammate with the first time pass. Caicedo then plays it against Igor Thiago, and Brentford do manage to emerge with it. They clip it up towards Sharda. That's not quite right, that one from Jensen. And Chelsea have it back at the back. Caicedo into the centre circle, just manages to bypass Jordan Henderson. Joao Pedro will pick it up, tries the through ball to Gittins, didn't quite get that one right. Coyote was always in the right position to get there first, did so, gave it to Kelleher, he's fed it to Collins, and then Coyote for the 3rd time already in this game has given it away. That's poor. And it's with Jarell Harto, the teenage fullback, brought in to challenge Marc Cucurella on this particular occasion to usurp the Spanish European champion, and he is getting his first start for Chelsea in the Premier League. Throw-in for the world champions over on the far side of the field. 7-8 yards inside the Brentford half, will be taken by Fofana, who is barged down and fouled by Yarmolyuk, who is already bathed in sweat from all the hard yards that he's put in the first 21.5 minutes. Keith Andrews with his Lego hair, unmistakably so, is looking cool and calm on the touchline. Honestly, if there's anyone that shouldn't mock anyone else's hair, it's me. And it is with Fofana on the halfway line, high diagonal, looking for Gittins, one in the air by Coyote, and the offside flag is up against the former Borussia Dortmund man. Really built himself as a key cog in that Dortmund team over the course of the last year. It was a slow burn at Dortmund. He wasn't quite the sort of Jadon Sancho mould who burst through when he immediately moved at the age of 17. Took him a little bit of time. The odd sort of call into the starting 11, a lot of appearances from the bench, and then last season in what was basically a disappointing campaign for Dortmund until right at the end, when they really threw themselves into getting back in the Champions League and just about did it on the final day. He was a really important player for them. Free kick, throw-in I should say, on the right hand side for Brentford. Coyote to take it. 10 yards deeper inside the half from the 18-yard line, so he's going to have to go some to launch this one into the box, but he's certainly planning on it. To get into that 6-yard box with the angle, it's about 40 yards, that. Mind you, he's got it right in the mixer. Goodness me, it could have gone anywhere, and it was hacked away by Jarell Harter.
Well, that's a set piece.
Yeah, I'll say.
He's just thrown that about, like you say, at least 30 yards.
At the back, it's calmly dealt with by Yarmoliuk. Coyote manages to turn it past the Chelsea defender. Was that no foul, really, as he tried to play it up to Pinnock?
Should have been.
Didn't get given it. Chelsea clear. Gittins can't keep it in on this near side, and I think justice, really, as Coyote will take the throw from even further back. Surely this one doesn't go in. No, it doesn't.
That last one he certainly hurled in, didn't he?
He certainly did. Yeah. Pinnock at the back. First appearance of the season for Ethan Pinnock today, and that's Henderson giving it away to Fofana. Buonanotte. Enzo Fernandez didn't realise who was at his back, and he just about managed to get it out of his feet with Jensen behind him. And here goes Trevor Chalobah deep into the Brentford half, and he's lost out there to Coyote. Coyote, he needed to make the decision because they're short at the back. Maybe now. Henderson releases it to the left-hand side for Keane Lewis-Potter. Pedro Neto gets back at him. Just checks and allows Chelsea to get back into their shape, and there's Henderson towards the left-hand side of the field, near enough on the halfway line.
Their shape defensively, Brentford, is really good. And then as soon as they win it back, Coyote's out, Lewis Potter's out, and they look to break and hit Chelsea on the counter-attack, where Chelsea have overcommitted.
Collins steps out of defence and turns it left for Pinnock. Henderson drops back into that central position that Collins has just vacated for a moment. Vandenberg, Coyote, got a bit lucky there as Yarmoliuk diverted it forward. Igor Thiago tried the flick back to Yarmoliuk, didn't quite get the contact on it. It allowed Chalobah to get in, and Chalobah has walloped that one off of a Brentford defender into touch on the near side, and Jarell Harto will take the throw. Caicedo got away from Yarmoliuk but ran into Coyote, and Henderson comes back and gives it to man he was at Liverpool with, Quivien Kelleher. Must be difficult for Kelleher, of course, signed for Thomas Frank. There's the quick ball forward again by Brentford, finds Sharda chasing it. Fofana is there first. Playing out of position as a right back. Extraordinary issues with injury he's had. I mean, talk about some of the players that we've mentioned with their injury issues. Wesley Fofana, I mean, he was so good for Leicester, wasn't he? But when you look at it, he's been at the club since August of 2022. And this is his 36th appearance for the club.
Oh, 3 years, 3 seasons.
Yeah. Got 14 appearances last season, none whatsoever in 23-24. And 15 starts and 5 more in non-Premier League games in that first campaign in 22-23. What a shame, because that Leicester year that got him the move, my word. He looked, with all the potential of being one of the best players in the world. Now usurped by the man on the ball, Tosin, and Trevor Chalobah, who he's given it to. Chalobah to João Pedro, who's moved out to the left-hand side. Chalobah again. Pedro once more. Trying to get past Henderson, does so with ease, but runs into Coyote. His clearance deflects kindly for Chalobah. And there's Hato, giving it to Caicedo. Buonanotte, short to Hato again, who's moved into one of those narrow sort of midfield positions that you often see with fullbacks nowadays for the time being. Enzo Fernandez gives it to Fofana, who's in an advanced position. One more out wide is Neto. Fernandez into Buonanotte, just got caught and he runs away from him a little there, but kindly to Gittins, gives it to Chalobah. Plenty of, it's more than just triangles available for Chelsea in midfield, there's countless players there. Now Fofana moves out to Pedro Neto, wants it on his left foot, gets it on his left foot, delivers the cross in, overhits it. That's poor, that's a goal kick, and it remains Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. And a lot of the attacking intent and verve of the first sort of 10-15 minutes has just been knocked out a little bit in the last 5 or so.
It's the final ball, Tobes. Brentford have rarely sautéed into Chelsea's half in good possession, but Chelsea have had a lot of ball, but Brentford's shape really good. When they're defending, they're as a 5. When they're trying to attack, they get their wing backs out, they're a 3, and Chelsea's final ball hasn't been good enough.
No. Both have got options from the bench. I mentioned it, attacking options. Reece Nelson potentially for Brentford, Dango Ouattara, Fabio Carvalho should they wish, legs in on Onyeka. Chelsea of course have Cole Palmer, be interesting to see how much he's got. They could have a bit more attacking thrust down the right in Gusto or James. Tyreek George is there, and of course I think we are expecting at some point today that they will utilise an opportunity to get Alejandro Garnacho closer to match fitness. Vandenberg, how long does that take if you haven't played really since May at this stage? How many games, how many minutes are we talking before you feel fully up to match speed?
It'll take a while. It will take a while. Every individual's different, obviously.
I mean, he looks like a naturally fit boy, doesn't he?
But you can do all the running in the world, all the fitness work.
Yeah.
A game and match sharpness and little movements takes ages.
Yeah. There are some players that sort of, you always tell when they haven't played for a while that, even despite the training, as Joao Pedro loses control and runs it out of play for a Brentford throw, you can see in their body shape that they're not sort of natural athletes, whereas I don't think you get that with Garnacho. There's a flying challenge by Jarell Hato on Igor Thiago. Gives Brentford a free kick, and I think the fans want more than just that. Referee Stuart Atwell goes to his pocket, and there is a yellow card that looked like it was shown to Tosin Adarabioyo, was it?
It was good refereeing, actually. Gave himself a few seconds to think about it, remember in his mind's eye what exactly happened with the foul, and I think he's right there.
Yeah, I think it is going to be Hato. Actually, I think he might have got the ball, Hato. He looked like he got it at the same time as Thiago, but maybe just a little bit of venom in it.
Aggressive,
and so a yellow card for Jarell Hato. And this free kick is in a promising position for a team with such a great set-piece record. Wide on the right. And Henderson's just kicked the ball out of play because there were 2 balls on the pitch at exactly the same time as Jensen. So there were no balls on the pitch. Finally, they get 1 back. We got the right number. I might use that for my daughter who's just started school this week. That's a good maths question. If there are 2 balls on the pitch, they both get kicked away. How many have you got left? Henderson leaves it. Jensen takes it. It's a rather direct ball towards the back of the 18-yard box over on the far side. Pinnock did get a head onto it. He did pretty well to get that much, and actually they'll be pretty relieved, I suspect, to have got the throw that they have over on the far side, because it wasn't great delivery.
No, it was just too heavy, wasn't it? They've got Pinnock in round the back. There's nothing clever in that movement, to be fair. Everyone that makes a dash across the near post, and then you get one in round the back, and this is getting hurled in. Coyote's gone over to the left side now.
Yeah, and it's just about the same spot really over the other side of the field as to the one that he took earlier. This time he's gone short. Now they deliver the ball in. That's not good. Chalobah on the 18-yard line heads it once up and a second time away. On it goes by Buonanotte. Pedro Neto chasing it. Jordan Henderson strong in the challenge, and there's Coyote on the left, and this time he does get past Enzo Fernandez, and he continues to attack up against Caicedo, who gets a toe in and defends it really well. And then Enzo Fernandez down the line looking for Pedro Neto. Ethan Pinnock strong. Throw into Chelsea on halfway.
What I don't understand and never have is you've got your right back who's run 45 yards, 50 yards across the pitch to take a long throw, throws it to someone, gets it back, and it's on his wrong foot, so he's not going to cross it. Then it goes and the delivery's too flat, and the chance has gone. They've already caused Chelsea problems by throwing it into their 6-yard box from the right-hand side. If you're going to go over there, have the courage of your convictions and take a long throw.
Lovely body shimmy by Tosin, managed to get the ball out and then up and forward, but Henderson picks up the ball. He tries to play it through to Schade. Good starting position that by Robert Sanchez, who clears it away, and then Gittins has fouled Coyote from the long challenge for that Sanchez ball, and it's a free kick to Brentford. 33 minutes nearly on the clock.
Jordan Henderson has had a really good half an hour. in the middle of the Brentford midfield. Really has energy, kept the ball simple.
Pinnock slipped there and very nearly got played into trouble, but he's managed to get himself up quickly enough. Give it to Lewis Potter. But Chelsea have got it back. Enzo Fernandez comes forward, challenged by Lewis Potter on Fofana. Fernandez thinks it's a free kick. You might have just heard on our microphone what Lewis Potter thinks of it when the throw went Chelsea's way. I think I can see all points, I have to say. Throw in for Fofana. Stuart Atwell, the referee that gave those decisions. As Igor Thiago chases the ball forward. I really like what Igor Thiago's doing. He's happy to drop deep. Found himself in midfield at times. Capable of putting on the press. Extra numbers in midfield, and that was a chance for Brentford, but Yarmolyuk didn't take it with, and now Chelsea will attack down the right-hand side. Neto up against Lewis Potter. There's the cross, and there's the important header away by Coyote on the edge of the 6-yard box. Forward it comes for Igor Thiago. Brentford pick up again. Henderson, now he looks over the top for Schade. Schade up towards the edge of the box. Tosin holding him up. Schade onto his right foot. Schade low into the bottom corner to give Brentford the lead. Kevin Schade, the tactic's been obvious all night for Brentford. Go forward quickly, get in over the defence and get it onto your pacey strikers. They have done just that, and they've punished the world champions. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, I've got to say, Tobes, I was literally 2 minutes ago saying what a good half Jordan Henderson has had. First of all, from Coyote, that is magnificent defending on the far post. This little ball inside, but watch this pass from Jordan Henderson. That's a world-class ball. Absolutely dissects the Chelsea back two that was there. He cuts inside. They never ever get close enough to defend. Tosin gets back, but he doesn't get close enough. And in the end, it's that old one. Schade shoots through his legs, and there's no chance. There's a slight deflection.
It's quite a lot of a deflection,
big
isn't it?
deflection. Sanchez gets wrong-footed, and it flies in that far corner. But all night, soon as that ball breaks down and Chelsea have overcommitted, Brentford have looked for that first-time pass, turn them, get them behind and see what you can do. And I tell you what, that pass from Jordan Henderson is up there with the best I've seen this season so far.
The tactics work. Who needs set pieces?
And it all came from that Chelsea cross into the box, and really that's what Brentford have been wanting. Can they deal with what Chelsea are throwing at them? Yes. Once they do, have they got the skill and the composure to get the pass right as they go forward quickly?
Well, there was so much good about that. First of all, it was the Coyote defending at the back post. Then Thiago made a nuisance of itself. It bounced loose for Jensen, and he hit a lovely little 10-yard reverse ball inside to Henderson. He took a touch, looked up straight away, 1v1. Schade, they've obviously worked on it in training, because as soon as that midfield get the ball, himself and Thiago, they want to run behind. They're not showing up to feet. They just want to stretch Chelsea's back four and get him behind. And that time it worked perfectly. But for me, it was all about the ball from Jordan Henderson.
How do these clubs, your Brentfords, your Bournemouths, your Brightons, how do they keep on doing it? Every year they get raided, looted by the supposed big boys. And every year they manage to survive and find more gems and get it right. Maybe it's happening again as Schade fights for it coming forward and is adjudged to have fouled his man. Here's a question for you, Kevin. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. But earlier on we saw Bournemouth and Brighton go head-to-head. Brentford would probably be added to that as the sort of model clubs for the ones that come up and establish themselves and look like they're run brilliantly. So here's my question to you. You can manage any of those three. Which one do you feel is run in the way that you're most confident that you can continue this sort of steady build?
Very difficult, because they've all done.
I mean, you'd take any of them, wouldn't you?
But if I was pushed, I would say Brighton, because it's been a continuous. They lose players and you think, oh, they're going to be in trouble. Certainly in that midfield area. All of a sudden, another one comes along. All of a sudden, another one comes along. And I've actually managed an under-14 Colchester Academy few years ago now, probably 7-8 years ago, against their under-14s. The setup there, their Cap 1, the amount of players that come through, they gave us an absolute hiding that day. The same age group, and obviously they get the cream of the crop being a Premier League team, but the setup from bottom to the top is unbelievable.
As Kelleher comes to the left edge of his box to punch away a long Chelsea ball forward. There you go. There's one for all you listeners to debate down in pubs, bars and clubs, wherever you're listening around the world. Which of those three is the model?
Great question.
There you go. Tosin gives it to Chalobah. Chelsea deep inside Brentford territory. They move it to the left-hand touchline where Jamie Gittins is hugging the line. Plays it infield to Caicedo, and Kelleher again is quick. They're ahead of Gittins, who is being marshalled by Coyote, who started the game in dodgy fashion and has got stronger and better as it's gone on, resulting in that really important header from which they were then able to launch the attack to take the lead, Brentford, as the ball again runs loose to Sharda, but it bounces off of Caicedo and kindly for Fofana.
And how often do you see that, Tobes? Kelleher, come on, let's all get up the pitch.
Yeah.
Hits a Route 1 ball out of his hands, i.e. 1980s stuff. But they're shaped defensively.
But they're passes, aren't they? They are passes.
Yeah,
and I'm not questioning the 1980s type. Maybe they were as well. But this isn't just boot it long. No,
that was accurate. That was straight into Thiago. But their defensive shape, and I'll keep going on about it. It's back five when they're defending, and the way they're working for each other and closing spaces is brilliant.
At times it's a back six. Henderson really drops in, doesn't he? He's doing it at the moment.
The midfield three are narrow as well.
Yeah. And they're all tight to each other. There's no spaces in between. You often hear about the players that can find the space between the midfield and defence. There isn't space.
But this is what they want. They want the ball going wide.
Yeah,
they don't want it coming through the middle of them.
Here is Neto, who's trying to move into the middle, gives it to Chalobah, and I think you'd take the centre half shooting from 27, 28 yards all day long if you're Brentford, because the result is what we've just seen, 20 yards over the bar.
Well, Keith Andrews will be saying, no doubt at half-time, if you've got the opposition centre half frustrated and you're frustrating them and he's shooting from 40 yards, you've done your job.
Yeah.
You've done your job. And also, how many times have Chelsea gone wide and they've defended it, it's come back in, there's no gaps down the middle, they've gone wide the other side, there's no gaps there, and they've just seen out all the danger.
Yeah. XG for Brentford, 0.65, for Chelsea, 0.15, despite the fact that Chelsea have had 66% of the possession. Things are going right for Brentford. Chelsea win a throw over on the far side. We've got 4 minutes plus stoppage time to play at the end of the first half. Brentford 1-0 up against Chelsea. At the moment, this doesn't feel like Club World Cup-itis. This feels like a tactic that is working for the red and white half of West London. Looking for their first home win over Chelsea since the 1930s. Might break for Enzo Fernandez, tried the clever through ball, he's won the tackle back though, inside the area, they're still trying to bundle their way through Buonanotte, comes out to Yarmolyuk, he needs to just get rid, and he does, out to the far side. It might have even come off of Fofana last as he chased the ball out, he must have known it, and he couldn't prevent the throw. Brentford ball, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, intricate play, trying to go through the middle of Brentford's back three, back five, back six, as you've said, and there's 3-4 red and white striped shirts in the way, all doing brilliant for each other. There's your Route 1 ball up to the front, but with quality.
Yeah, Igor Thiago didn't win it, but it still came to Sharda. He actually ends up getting overrun by Caicedo and fouls Caicedo. Robert Sanchez takes the free kick quickly out to Fofana.
They could get done again, Chelsea, when they overcommit and Brentford get it forward quickly to Sharda and Thiago.
And of course now they're behind,
they're
going to have to overcommit even more as time goes on. If they're 1-0 down with 10 to play, they're going to have to just put bodies on that just attack. João Pedro on the left, but Enzo Maresca, we should say, will be someone that is, almost Pep Guardiola like in the trust the role, trust the idea, it will work. He won't change things too soon. Gittins coming in off the left-hand side, tries the shot. Catching practice for Kelleher.
Again, 25 yards, Cutting inside, pressure on the ball.
It's actually their first shot on target in the match.
Just shows you how good Brentford have been. And they have been really good.
Throw in to Chelsea on the left-hand side. Come across to the far side for Fofana. I mean, you know, we looked at this team selection. I'm amazed that neither Gusto nor James played today. I'm a bit amazed that Cucurella didn't. I mean, you know, I'm not here to know whether they're in red zones and all of that. Maybe they are.
But you look at Fofana here, he should be 20, 25 yards higher up the pitch, which allows his winger to move further forward. He's not a progressive. He doesn't really. I've not seen him want to run forward.
No, Harto's the same, by the way.
And step in. He's got so much space to step into, and he's reluctant to do it.
Yeah. Chalobah gives it to Harto, who's in that sort of narrow position. It goes all the way across to Fofana, who's forced really to step forward there and does check and wait. And gives it to Pedro Neto. Neto. Fernandes. Tosin Adarabioyo. All of this is deep inside Brentford's half, and they have 11 men behind the ball most of the time. Igor Thiago came out and pressed then. Chelsea trying to play through it. They're doing this quite nicely, actually. Slipped through by Pedro, and here they come again, and they might have just messed that one up as Enzo Fernandez ends up shooting. Takes a deflection, goes wide, and it looked really threatening until there was just one pass that didn't quite go right, and it was the touch there by Buonanotte that I can't decide if he knew if he was setting up Gittins or Enzo Fernandez. Either way, Fernandez shot slightly awkwardly. Chelsea, I think, will probably take the corner given how that resulted.
Well, that was incisive, wasn't it? 1-2 touch football round the box.
Here's the corner into the near post. Oh, goodness me, has that hit the outside of the post and stayed out? It could have been touched home by anyone. Brentford clear it to halfway. And Caicedo is quickest to give it to Sanchez. That was a bizarre one. It almost looked like it went sort of inside the side netting, but then stayed out.
It hit the post and came back in play.
Yeah,
they're lucky there, Brentford, to be fair. Whoever's on that near post needed to defend it.
Yeah, that was very, very close to a Chelsea equaliser. They tried to play the ball through to Gittins. Gittins beaten by Coyote. Coyote, he tries a clever trick in a dangerous position. It lofts up for him. He volleys it into his own box. Henderson tries to shield it. He hooks it away. Caicedo forward. Enzo Fernandez is tackled by Henderson, but it runs to Neto. Neto in towards Enzo Fernandez. Buonanotte gives it back to his fellow Argentine. Now the Brazilian João Pedro just outside the D. Turns back onto his left foot. Up to the edge of the box. Overhits the pass to Gittins. Goal kick. At this moment in time with Gittins, you know, and this is very, very early in his Premier League career, as we hit the half-time whistle,
and Sharda scored it, and it's a goal that, if you've watched that opening or listened to us the opening 45 minutes, was something they were looking for. Something they were looking for.
I guess the frustration from Enzo Maresca would be as well. That's a huge amount of threat on Robert Sanchez's goal. It's probably quite an avoidable goal because it's really come from the fact that we've been so high in the press and so high in possession of the pitch, and it's just one like long ball over the top, like you said.
That's something that they've tried many, many occasions, and you know they've had some joy. Obviously, they've had some joy. I'm just this is a game that maybe won or maybe get something out of it from the bench, and I'm you know, had a good look at that. The Gittins one at the moment is an area that I'd definitely look at. You mentioned there that you've got certain players that can come off the bench. Cole Palmer is an obvious choice in there as well. I wonder whether Cucurella might come on, you know, because the team is it's not the sort of team that you would expect to see in the Premier League. It feels a little bit like a Carabao Cup team. Do you know what I mean? I
think Hato's done well, but it's more the fact that there is so much space for Cucurella to occupy, and we've seen him so often be so important in that middle third almost, isn't he? Where he does tuck in. It's his natural game where we've seen a lot from Marc Cucurella, certainly the last 18-24 months.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion that maybe Cucurella, Palmer is obviously the one there. maybe Garnacho gets his debut. It's all that left-hand side at the moment that haven't been able to have much joy at all.
Well, he does have a goal and an assist on his last visit to the G-Tech, Alejandro Garnacho, and a Manchester United player. The other obvious ones, I suppose, are Andre Santos, Tyreek George, are players that can affect further up the pitch. Reece James, Josh Achiopong and Malo Gusto, the other substitutes for Philip Jorgensen, of course. But I wonder because Wesley Fofana has had quite a lot of the ball at right full-back as well. So again, I wonder if maybe that's an area. If Reece James hadn't played as many minutes for Thomas Tuchel in England, possibly, would he have started this evening?
Possibly. He's kind of favoured him not to start, hasn't he? Gusto's got the nod largely this season. He may leave at 10. He might just want to have another look at it. Might want to tweak one or two things out there before he makes the personnel change. But as you said, he's been brave in the past. The gaffer, and he will change things at half-time if he feels he needs to. And at the moment, the game has a pattern. We're up against this red and white wall, and it's very, very difficult to penetrate when we go out wide. The best joy we've had really has been from Pedro Neto up against Lewis Potter. We will see, but it's not been a great performance from us. I think Keith Andrews will be absolutely delighted that the way they set about how they worked on in training, and found themselves 1-0 up at half-time. Still plenty of this game to go.
Absolutely. I can imagine if Keith Andrews was planning this out piece by piece before the game, it'd probably be show your defensive solidity early on, make them question the fact that can they break you down, make the most of set pieces which they have, and then if you can nick a goal before half-time on the counter, everything's rolling.
That transition, Sharda was primed, he was ready to go. First thing that he does Henderson, he has a ball, he looks up, and he's put it into an area. It's a lovely ball, but he's put it into an area, and they're onto it. Still a bit of work to do. I think I'm a little disappointed, if I'm honest, with Fofana and Tosin, that they didn't manage to do enough to make sure he didn't get a clean strike away. So it's some work to be done here. It's a tough place to come here. We've had a battle with them since they got promoted many years ago, and they've always given us a game. We've got another one on our hands here now.
Absolutely, like we've already mentioned, the last 3 meetings have all been draws, and in those times a couple of goalless draws, but I think that's a 2-2 that was a real heavyweight clash, sort of punch for punch, landing on each other. There's a lot to come. There's a lot to come in this game, and Brentford will be happy with their performance so far. The crowd inside the G-Tech are more than comfortable, but not so much ready for it.
Okay, Sam Parkin is going to join me up here in the gantry in a second and get his thoughts on it. But Chelsea 1-0 down. Sam joins us now. Good evening, Sam.
Hi, Jace.
Thoughts, please.
Well, I've not enjoyed it. Tepid really for the majority of the half. Bright for 5 minutes. Thought Buonanotte looked lively. Finished the half okay. I was getting so frustrated with the sideways pass and the lack of threat behind. I mean, the contrast in what Sharda has given them, not only with the goal, but his want to run forward and into the space. So many times I'm watching every single player in blue coming towards the ball. Neto maybe once or twice isolated his full-back, but
it's difficult when you're playing against a five.
There is
to get into that space, because they played the system beautifully, right? We saw Palace first game of the season, right? They're doing something similar to us now, right? Getting in behind is tough.
Yeah, I take that. I think the frustration comes that there's no it's so samey, and in the last minute of the half they play that sumptuous bit of football and get in. And I think maybe there is method to the madness, and maybe it is just about patience and wearing the opposition down, passing them to death and waiting for that opportunity. I think there's been opportunities in that half to play a little bit more direct, and I think that, you know, if Pedro's coming towards the ball, then Buonanotte has to make that little dart in behind. Even if you're clipping a ball towards one of them and then ultimately it's a second ball you're competing for, I think there has to be variety, was the word I was looking for. I don't think there's been any variety in the game, and I think their goal, you know, that'll be their game plan, won't it? When the ball turns over, they've got a player in Henderson who can pass the ball, and they've got Sharda who can run. And Fofana, I think, I'll have to see it back. I don't think he senses the danger at all. He's ambling.
Between the pair of them, I was disappointed that Tosin's got himself there. Can he keep him on his left foot? That was what I was thinking. When I was watching that, I was thinking of the Josh King goal against Fulham, where he got into that position and he was allowed to cut back and sweep it into that corner. Once he got in there, keep him on his left foot. Yeah. He wants to open the goal up. And I just wonder whether Tosin could have been a little bit more aware.
Are you thinking there, though, when the ball turns over, you know what Henderson's going to do? Do you just run back to goal as quickly as you can if you're Fofana?
He's got him on the right side. He's got him in an area. Tosin has got him in an area where he can slow him up.
Right, okay.
And I don't, he allowed him. He's a good player, shoulder, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I felt he could have done a little more to ensure that he didn't open the goal up.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bench. I mean,
Jace, when they're sat in like that, okay, and they made it hard, absolutely take that point. Then you're looking at, I suppose, individuals in 1v1s to be inventive and be direct. And
the most joy is Neto, right?
Yeah.
Gittins has had a tough evening's work.
Absolutely, yeah.
Coyote he's on a booking, by the way. I wonder whether the bench now, because when Cucurella comes on as well, I'm not sure that Hato's quite understood the role that he needs.
Yeah.
That give us a little bit more balance down this left-hand side. Garnacho might find himself in the Palmer's the obvious choice.
Well,
right?
it's a gamble putting Hato in tonight. He's done okay, but and playing him in that position where essentially, you got to defend when you're without the ball, but you're one of the. At times he's been in the centre forward position. He's that left 10, isn't he? With the three behind João Pedro on occasion. That's a hell of a task for him the first time he started a game. So I don't know. I looking at the bench, I think there's not a centre forward on the bench either.
No.
And Marquinhos been brought back.
João Pedro. I understand why he's dropping deep, because there's so little space. I think Reece James is warming up. Might see the introduction of our skipper. He played, of course, a lot of minutes for England on his international duty. But there are options on the bench. That's something that we need to seriously look at.
Yeah, it feels like the half has been slightly lacklustre, and potentially he may opt to change things rather than doing some tactical alterations. Maybe it will be just freshening up the side with possibly Reece James, who's going through his warm-up routine. Jason's going to go and have a break, and Joe Flemings is going to rejoin me here in the booth as we pour over what was a bit of a lacklustre first half, really. I've been disappointed with Chelsea, aside from the opening 5 minutes of the half and probably the last 5 minutes.
Well, you just mentioned Reece James. He's definitely going to come on because he's got the armband on.
And Cucurella
as well. So, yeah, we were the two areas that we were talking about, in fact, because I think Hato's done okay. But this game does feel like it suits Cucurella if they're going to carry on with that inversion, and there's a lot of space inside.
Well, I just think he's at the top of his game at the moment, isn't he? And not only with the tenacity that he defends with, but he's a clear goal threat on a night where so far there's been zero goal threat. I think there's been one attempt on the target, as they're not in the last knockings of the half. That's not enough on Kelleher's goal. All very predictable until that last beautiful flowing move that me and Jason just spoke of, which, you're kind of pulling your hair out because you've watched for 43, 44 minutes pedestrian, sideways, backwards football. All of a sudden, they just pass through Brentford with beautiful ease. It would have been a sumptuous goal, and then you think, is that the method to the madness? Is that the reasoning for doing it over and over? I want a little bit more thrust, and I took Jason's point that they're back in a 5-4-1 or 5-3-2 at times. There's not a lot of space down the middle. I think someone's still got to threaten those little runs, even if the ball is not perfect, and it just makes Brentford defend, and then you can go and play higher at the pitch and compete for second balls. I just think, and I think sometimes it's too simplistic, but everyone trying to get into the pocket and look for ball into feet. Sharda, I think he exemplified what a runner, granted there was loads of room, but he exemplified what it gives you if you've got a focal point who wants to run towards goal.
Absolutely, and obviously finished his effort brilliantly well. He's given Brentford a lead that at the moment they look quite comfortable with as well, because as you mentioned, that the need to break teams down, the need to work things out is not a new problem, but it's a problem that this Chelsea side, maybe a little bit more than some in the past, have got to learn their way through.
Yeah, I think it's a problem for all the top teams, and I don't think that's going to go away. I don't think it can ultimately be solved, probably. unless you're, you know, I wouldn't say shopping in a different basket, but unless you're, you know, as Manchester City were 3 or 4 years ago, where they'd accumulated a squad and had players that were used to winning the Premier League. Until you get to that level, I think it's always difficult in the Premier League going away from home against teams who set up so resolutely. So, yeah, I don't think there's one way to solve the problem, but it needs to be better than that, you know. And if you can't collectively, I suppose, get the upper hand, I want to see individuals, Gittins, Neto, Buonanotte, just be a little bit more forthright in the final third and be a bit more inventive.
Absolutely, Sam. Thank you so much. As always, the brilliant Sam Parkin, and Jason Cundy is going to rejoin me momentarily as Chelsea get ready for Brentford in the second half. And this will be certainly a different Chelsea side, because we're going to see a double change. That bib is off from Reece James, and Mark Cucurella also going to come back on. Just trying to work out who is the two that have definitely departed the scene. Zamoressa going through the final instructions with his captain.
Indeed.
So it will be Tyreek George is also coming on. So it will be a triple change for Chelsea at half-time. Cole Palmer wanders back to the bench, bouncing a ball, and a little bit, I suppose, a little bit confused as to why he's not the one getting the nod.
Maybe he's not quite ready yet. Buonanotte's done okay, you know. He's done all right, and yeah, something had to change. I mean, you know, we have the luxury of an unbelievable bench.
Yeah, it's been an opportunity to make that change, and he's kind of stepped forward with it.
Where's Tyreek George going to go? Is he going to go down the middle, I wonder, or down the left? The left would be my choice, because that's where I'm thinking does his best work. I made that point, but I thought that might have happened against Fulham when Liam Delap came off.
Pedro Neto is definitely there, so he is one of the front four that doesn't get replaced, and it is Facundo Buonanotte, whose Chelsea debut lasted 45 minutes. 45 minutes, I thought he did well in.
Well, that then suggests to me that maybe George. Let's see, because he's going to play in that 10 position.
Reece James, straight swap for Wesley Fofana, and imagine the next one is Joel Hatto again. His first Chelsea start lasts 45 minutes, and again did okay. I don't think they're massively reflective of individual performances, more perhaps the situation more than anything.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a frustrating evening for us at the moment, and credit to Brentford, they've made life difficult. They've worked incredibly hard, very well organised, tough to break down, given us very little looks at the keeper. Anyway, 45 minutes now.
A little reshuffle, but nothing changing for Brentford. So before we get underway in the second half, the Brentford team will remain Kelleher, a back three of Vandenberg, Collins and Pinnock, and then Coyote and Lewis Potter as the wing backs. Henderson, Jensen, Yarmolyuk, the three in midfield, Igor, Thiago and Shard up the two up top. And for Chelsea now, slight reshuffle with Reece James coming into the back four.
It's over, and you would think, Kev, that's something that both you and I pointed out in the first half will be corrected by those two changes, and that is the attacking thrust from full-back as Chelsea get us underway, all in blue, with just their white socks from left to right.
Well, it's nice to know that we picked out the problem, and Maresca's
well, we'll see. We only picked it out if this works.
Yeah, well, Maresca's obviously seen the same thing.
And it's interesting to see as well that Tyreek George has gone straight up top with João Pedro dropping into the 10. So different sort of creativity. And guess what? Very, very first movement of Tyreek George there was in behind the Brentford defence. Not from a 10 position, but the point still stands. Let me give you the 11s in full. Brentford unchanged for this second half. Kelleher the keeper. The back three is Vandenberg, Collins and Pinnock. Then it's Coyote and Lewis Potter providing the width. Jordan Henderson, Matthias Jensen and Yarmolyuk in midfield, and Igor Thiago and Kevin Shard are the strikers. For Chelsea now, they have Sanchez in goal, and it's James, Chalobah, Adarabioyo and Cucurella, Caicedo, Fernandes, Neto, Pedro, Gittins and Tyreek George who by all accounts would have left the club during the transfer window had the right opportunity come for him, and very nearly did indeed, with talk of Fulham, wasn't there? But he's now playing, and he's a physical specimen, you know. He's not an awful lot shorter than Nathan Collins, who he's just walked past there. And there is a free kick over on the far side for Brentford.
Already at the start of this half, Tobes, as soon as Chelsea are building up play, Cucurella has already made 2 or 3 runs to try and occupy Coyote, to catch his attention, which will leave Gittins free outside. It's unselfish running. He's running diagonally across, so Coyote has to go with him, which will then leave Gittins free if they can work the diagonal.
Well, he needs to be free, because in the evidence of the first half, he can't beat anyone.
Yeah, well, exactly right. That's what stood out for us, wasn't it?
Kelleher diverts it away from George and gives it to Nathan Collins. Is he someone that can go to the next level for you, Collins? Because I briefly mentioned the first half. You know, there was talk of Liverpool. I don't know if it was realistic, as Chalobah manages to get a last man challenge in on Igor Thiago from a ball forward as Brentford win it back though. Yarmoliuk gives it to Lewis Potter, left side of the 18-yard box, hangs up the cross to Thiago. He's not going to win that one, and he gets headed behind. Safety first there by Tosin Adarabioyo. Corner to Brentford.
Well, again, sloppy, trying to nick it from the front. That is a wonderful ball. In the end, that's really good defending, but they're just sloppy with the ball. Look at that, it's a sloppy pass. In the end, Chalobah does amazingly well, because Thiago would have been away 1v1 there.
Yeah, he needed to make that, it's fair to say. But a corner to Brentford. Their second of the game. They're just about, with the help of the outside of the post, dealt with a Chelsea one from this same corner in the first half, right at the end of the first half. The one thing the Chelsea substitutes have done is shrink the team slightly from these positions. So here's the delivery in, straight into the arms of Sanchez. Sharda was down on the ground there, claiming that there was some sort of incident, and that's been bowled straight out by Sanchez to Yarmoliuk, who's away from Cucurella, checks back onto his left foot, still going, dinks it in behind everybody, and Yarmoliuk really there needed to go early into the box. Pedro Neto tackled, throw into Chelsea.
Wasted chance, you're exactly right, Tobes. Cross it with your right foot. All the Chelsea defenders are then running back towards their own goal. Soon as you chop back inside, that chance has gone.
Now we see whether Sharda and Enzo Fernandez was anything. Well, Fernandez was certainly had his back to the ball, no interest in the play, and was just arms, I wouldn't quite say around Sharda, but kind of out over him. And Sharda, I think, maybe made the most of it. Possibly one that doesn't get overturned either way. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, yeah.
Half a penalty and half not.
I think if a penalty's given, then they'll probably go along with it.
Yeah. Referee's call. Keith Andrews is certainly making that point. Nathan Collins. What do we think? How high can Collins go? Is he a Liverpool level player potentially? Because when the Gahey deal was sort of in the doubt, he was mentioned.
Do you know what? What I like about him is he's prepared to step in with the ball, and, as he just did, and gain a foul to create an overload in the midfield area. He's not just someone who sits there and gives it to someone else and passes the buck, if you like. He's happy if he sees a gap to move into it, and he's a leader.
Yes, he is. That he certainly is. As Brentford take a quick free kick down the left-hand side for Lewis Potter. There's the cross. Header away by Chelsea. Back in by Igor Thiago. Will it come for Lewis Potter? No, James, just a calm header back to Sanchez. Throws it like an actual throw-in out to Fernandez. Gives it to João Pedro. That one might break through for Tyreek George. George up to the edge of the area. And it's across the goalkeeper. And Kelleher makes a decent save, pushing it away. Needed saving that. Good low shot by Tyreek George. Was he onside? That's the question. I think he was, you know. Coyote on the far side playing him on. And that was on target.
He's prepared to run behind Tobes. Not everything's defeat. Twice he's got in. He signals his intent right at the start of the second half. Running behind, and he's just done it again.
Corner to Chelsea. Taken short. Caicedo. Forward it goes. Gittins, I should say, loses out, and then there's a chase on between Schade and Caicedo. Caicedo's gone down. I think he was stumbling, and Schade ends up putting his hands on his back almost because he literally can't get out the way. I'm not 100% sure that was a foul, but now Schade, in an incident off the ball, has gone down, clutching the back of his head. Not sure what's happened there. And the Brentford fans, you can hear, are shouting off, off, off. They've seen something. The question is, what?
Whatever happens, as a player these days, you won't get away with anything. We can't see what's happened, but we soon will. There's people with eyes, there's cameras all over the place. So if there's been any misdemeanour, Stuart Atwill will get notified of it. It's not a foul, by the way, to start with, in my opinion.
It wasn't. I think you're right. Interesting, by the way, I was just looking back at the incident from the George effort, where I thought Kelleher's save was really, really important. Well, I mean, Caicedo has pushed Schade over from the side. Unless he hit his head on the ground, I don't know what that's for. But that is... I mean, is that violent behaviour? In a way it is. I'm not suggesting it was going to hurt Schade. But how he's not got booked because the ref hasn't seen it. Probably does fall short of a red card.
Yeah, but the initial Schade foul that was given wasn't a foul for me. Caicedo's got in front of him and tried to feel a touch, and almost Schade's not touched him, so he's lost balance and gone over.
Yeah.
So there was no contact, in my opinion.
Tosin's gone long through to Kelleher. What I was about to say about the save from George, by the way, is that Gittins was lurking at the back post, and so had Kelleher, not just pushed it out wide, then Gittins might have been able to get in on that. But actually, I think he deliberately had softer hands than that and allowed it to go for the corner, because Gittins would have had a simple finish had he kept it in play.
Yes, good save.
I thought it was not just a good save from the point of view of keeping it out the net, but a really intelligent save with where he decided to divert the ball. As Brentford come forward with Yarmolyuk down the left-hand side, he's tackled by Enzo Fernandez in the right-back position. Forward they come through Caicedo, lovely half-turn by João Pedro, and then in behind the defence and out to Gittins, left side of the 18-yard box, up against Coyote. Cucurella helping out. Cucurella right-footed, low shot, little bit tame into the arms of the goalkeeper. Chelsea far better in this second half.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the first time in the game. Look, Gittins is prepared to run beyond Coyote. And all of a sudden, Cucurella, we know he loves to get forward. Up with play. That's a lovely drop of the shoulder, by the way, on Jordan Henderson. And unfortunately, it falls on his weaker right foot. But it's much better, all because they've got players now that are willing to stretch Brentford's back three, back five, and run beyond them. Did not have that in the first half.
Right. Man who was really key in Chelsea's win in this fixture at Stamford Bridge back in December of last year, scored the opener for them, was also then sent off for a second bookable offence after the full-time whistle went, by which time they'd already won 2-1 and it didn't matter too much. But this is a game that is not often short of late drama. Brian Bumo kept that one interesting with a 90th minute goal that got it back to 2-1 when Nicholas Jackson had only made it 2-0 in the 80th. So stick with us as Coyote is battling Gittins, and is that the first time that Gittins has gone at him and shown enough strength to maintain possession and win something for his team, in this case a corner?
Well, along with being prepared to run without the ball, which he was a minute ago, yes it is. So what we can see, clearly Enzo Maresca at half-time has been watching exactly the same as us, because it was glaringly obvious what they weren't doing.
That, by the way, is Gittins' last action, because Cole Palmer is returning for Chelsea off the substitutes bench. He's seen enough, Enzo Maresca, and that is the fourth change already with only 10 minutes of the second half to go, or second half gone I should say. James over the corner, over on the far side, the Chelsea left, one arm into the sky, 4 Chelsea Blues shirts inside the 6-yard box, about 8 Brentford, into the near post it goes, awkwardly away from that position by Ethan Pinnock, up rather than out by Yarmolyuk, fighting Cucurella for it, wins it, hooks it over his shoulder, it drops to Caicedo, who moves it to James on the left-hand side, gives it back to the Ecuadorian, and Chelsea will build again. Ball forward down the left-hand channel looking for João Pedro, Chelsea's number 20. has taken Cole Palmer's shirt of last season. Palmer moving into the 10, vacated by Mykhailo Mudryk. Ball over the top by Chelsea. Will just about be kept in on that far side. Will it by George? No, not quite. And George's position in the centre of the team has lasted only the 10 minutes because he's been shunted to the left since Gittins has come off. Cole Palmer in the 10, Pedro back up top. But they look like a proper dangerous front four now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't knock Maresca. He certainly wasn't happy with what he saw in that first 45 minutes. And as you say, 56, 57 minutes on the clock, and there are already 4 changes in.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, it's an admission that he got his team selection wrong, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's you know, in a way, that's what you want from your manager. If you don't get it right, change it early. Make the sort of explicit admission as Coyote gets a bit of fortune to get the ball down the right-hand side. Tyreek George is with him. Henderson goes early into the box. That's not the best cross, but it'll be picked up by Lewis Potter on this near side there left. Back down the line he comes for Yarmolyuk. Into the centre circle for Collins. Pedro closes him down. Collins looks for a gap. Just plays it beyond Jensen, who got a toe to it. Could only stab it to Mark Cucurella. And it's back on the edge of his own 18-yard box with Trevor Chalobah of Chelsea. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0. 12.5 minutes of this second half gone. Tosin Adarabioyo up to the halfway line. Gives it to Enzo Fernandez. Back to Chalobah. Chelsea so much better in this second half already. What's interesting as well is that the possession statistics, they've given up a little bit of possession compared to the first half, although Brentford are looking for this one long towards Sharda. This time he doesn't have the pace to get beyond Tosin, and then Sanchez's clearance rather fortuitously down the middle of the pitch finds James. They work it to Enzo Fernandez. He gives it to James just inside of him, right of the centre circle, bang on the halfway line. Outright, one more to Fernandez. Now to the man hugging the touchline in Pedro Neto. Tries to move inside Lewis Potter. Boundless energy from Lewis Potter getting up and down the pitch today. Chelsea do manage to get in behind him though. Here's Neto, cuts it across. Coyote last man at the back post, turns it behind for the corner.
Much better from Chelsea this opening 15 minutes or so of the second half. And again, it's just Neto being prepared to run. In the end, he's put a really dangerous ball in there. And Coyote, I have to say, under pressure.
Yeah.
That's a real good bit of defending to turn that away from
the other thing to say about Neto there, not just the run, but he used his right foot from the right side. He didn't check.
Yeah.
And you've got to have enough quality on your wrong foot, don't you, to be able to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Palmer gives it to Neto inside the area. Away by Henderson, well read. Cleared as far as James, though, his England international colleague. To Caicedo. Palmer trying to get it in behind Jensen. Can't do so, but it comes back at the superstar attacking midfield player. Headed ball away by Brentford. Henderson picks up. Got caught late there, I think, Henderson, in trying to keep it in. Did well to stay on his feet. Lewis Potter never going to get there.
I'm surprised he didn't go down there, that Henderson. That's a foul.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Cole Palmer, inside left position. Almost that Declan Rice position that we see for Arsenal now so much. To James, just outside the D. Turns away from Collins, shoots, hits Ethan Pinnock. Bounces out as far as Sharda. What a strong challenge that is by Caicedo. Somehow Sharda rides it, emerges with it, and has to just get this one away, does he? Vandenberg does. Only as far as Caicedo. And this is just coming back at Brentford over and over again. They can't get that out ball that they had in the first half, basically because the press is now so consistent that they haven't got time to do so. And they can't get anyone out.
They're knocking at the door, Chelsea, aren't they?
George to James to Enzo Fernandez. There's the delivery towards Joao Pedro. My Bockford drop for Cole Palmer. It does. And he is as cold as ice, as always. Chelsea equalise. Cole Palmer, 5 and a bit minutes after coming on, makes it Brentford 1, Chelsea 1. And now with the momentum swing, Chelsea are favourites for this one.
Well, was it 30 seconds ago we said they're knocking on the door and you feel that something may be coming? And I've got to say, Tobes, this is made to look easy, this finish, but it is anything but. It's bouncing, it's on the half volley, it's a side foot. A lot of people would have slashed at that. Not Cole Palmer. He's used the defender as a blocker as it's come down, and he's just side-footed it on the half volley like a pass. He's passed that ball into the corner of the net. It's an outstanding finish. That is top draw.
He's a bit good, isn't he?
It's just the audacity where a lot of people would have been uptight because it's a chance. I'm going to shoot. I've got to score. And he's just side-footed it, passed it into the goal.
Yeah. This is his 99th Chelsea appearance as Igor Thiago delivers a ball into the Chelsea box. It might come down for Schade, you know. Schade's shot! It was bouncing and bobbling and awkward. And Sanchez gets down low to his right-hand side just to push it away for the corner. Well, Brentford nearly retake the lead there.
Sorry, Tobes. Thiago, on his weak foot, just hoiks it into the box. It's nodded down, falls to Schade. He's facing the wrong way. It's a scruffy little shot, but I tell you what, that's finding the corner. Sanchez gets across and makes an unbelievable stop with his right hand.
Yeah, he was going the wrong way initially, and he had to show his agility to get down. Here come Brentford again then with another corner to be taken from the near side, the left, as they are attacking. One arm into the sky by Lewis Potter, deep to the back post, left towards Pinnock, and I think Igor Thiago possibly got in his way there, and so he saw it late and he bounces it behind for the Chelsea goal kick.
I'm pretty sure Thiago would have been nothing to do with that corner, and they're trying to get Pinnock in round the back again, and he would have got in if Thiago had not got in his way. In the end, I think he wants to head it back across goal, but can't, and has to side foot volley it, and it ends up going harmlessly behind the Chelsea goal. But now we've got a contest.
99 appearances for Chelsea, Cole Palmer. That's his 44th goal, 29 assists.
Unbelievable.
He's not a striker.
Unbelievable. Not a striker, and just a shade over 1 in 2. Are we talking there?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. 44 in 99, amazing.
Oh, what a ball.
There's a ball through the middle to Cole Palmer again there, and he's got away from Yarmolenko, who's pulled him back. That's going to be a yellow card. Yeah. Every single player in Brentford red and white must be like, hang on, I thought this was going to be quite easy tonight based on the first half. Why haven't you shown this before? It's suddenly a challenge for us.
Brilliant skill, wasn't it? From Cole Palmer. Little Cruyff chop. Gets away from Yarmolenko. He has to bring him down, because Cole Palmer would have either got a shot off or found a pass to put someone in on goal, no doubt about that.
Cole Palmer's first goal from open play in the Premier League for Chelsea since a 2-2 draw against Bournemouth on the 14th of January. Just one penalty goal in the league since then. He did, of course, score 3 goals in the run to victory in the Club World Cup, including 2 in that final against PSG.
It just goes to show you what his stats were like before that bit of a drought, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Matchday 21 last season. He's over this free kick as well. This would be quite some going. It's probably 12 yards outside the box. He's gone for it and he's hit the wall. It's come back to him, and that's blocked by Igor Thiago, who is a willing runner and chases it down, and Tosin's not realised, and suddenly Igor Thiago, who blocked it in the wall, is on the right side of the Chelsea 18-yard box, holds it up, and then is obviously so tired that he couldn't get the pass right, and he looks like he's holding his hamstring and his toe, and possibly his entire body has to be injured there for him to get out of the embarrassment of what he just did.
Do you know what?
Oh, it's such a shame.
What sort of lift that gives your teammates when you've got a forward that chases like that and puts a defender, he's got no right to get anything on it, and he puts the defender under so much pressure, they end up getting up the pitch where they couldn't get out before, could they? All of a sudden he's just run and run and run, worked his socks off just to get his team up the pitch.
He looks like a player, doesn't he, actually, Thiago? You know, not just his industry, but as I mentioned earlier, he's beginning to get the goals. There's a ball in behind the Brentford defence by Enzo Fernandez, doesn't work, and Lewis Potter will clear down the left-hand side for Yarmolenko, challenged by Enzo Fernandez. Gets a bit of fortune that it hits his chest and stays in his possession, and then he goes high diagonal to Igor Thiago, who has the awareness to head it towards Jensen, but so does Sanchez to rush off his line and collect. Really couldn't get the headed pass right there, Thiago.
As Chelsea look to chase down the right-hand side now. Pedro Neto inside Pinnock. Brilliant from Neto. Brilliant from Pinnock to get back at him, you know. He got turned by Pedro Neto there superbly. And then I thought that for all the world he was going to rocket it into the back of the net. But Pinnock somehow turned to get a telescopic leg in and block the shot. That is goal saving by Ethan Pinnock.
Absolutely. Neto's done brilliant there. As he's chopped inside, he's nutmegged Pinnock. But Pinnock shows really good feet to get back. Look at that defending.
It's absolutely magnificent. From the second angle we've just seen it, I wonder whether Collins might, behind him, have also got the blocking, but it doesn't take anything away from what the Jamaican just did.
And how good was it from Neto as well?
Yes, I should point out the attacking play was thrilling. We are in a proper contest at Brentford this evening now, 1 apiece. Free kick to the home side, just about level with the attacking edge of the centre circle. And Brentford are readying a change. Can't quite see from my angle who that is. Is it Frank Onyeka? It's Dango Ouattara who is about to come on. Just see his black hair poking above the head of one of the coaches that are giving him some instructions.
I think that'll be for Thiago. He's run himself into the ground for nearly 70 minutes.
There's definitely a second player readying himself as well, as Lewis Potter takes his free kick into a central position for Jensen. Henderson's run beyond. It's into the box. It might fall for Collins, might fall for Thiago. Chelsea just about scramble that one away. Picked up by Jensen, right side of the centre circle. Into Coyote. Now Henderson on the right-hand side. Goes for the early cross. Blocked away by Tyreek George. And that is a throw-in over on the far side. He must love playing in red and white, Jordan Henderson. He's back in his favourite colours, if not for the team he supports anymore, of course, in Sunderland. That will be quite some reception, wouldn't it? He got last week. A couple of weeks ago now. Here's the throw from Coyote. And the referee has spotted something and given a free kick to Chelsea. Oh, I think he's just signalled that he's going to play the throw again. Conversation is with Igor Thiago. Let's see. It was Thiago on Pedro Neto who fell to the ground. It was soft. There was another Chelsea player that ended up on the ground. Anyway, Coyote's going to get a second bite at this cherry. He's found a towel to dry the ball on. There was a big downpour just before half-time. Coyote to take the throw from about level with the penalty spot on the right. Good flight on that one as well. Tosin got there first. Cucurella hooks it over his shoulder. Ends up on the ground. No foul, says the referee. On it goes. Will it find a red and white shirt in the box? No. Chelsea get it away. Cole Palmer volleys it towards the near side. Pedro Neto brings it down well. Kevin Schade comes across, makes the tackle. That's a throw into the visitors. 1-1. Just over 20 minutes of normal time left for play. I'm told that Dango Ouattara will be coming on for Matthias Jensen. And then Rico Henry is also coming on. And that will be the straight swap for Keane Lewis Potter. To me feels like a change of shape, doesn't it? As Coyote nips onto the ball with two Chelsea players confusing one another. It's then lofted forward to Igor Thiago, dealt with carefully by Chalobah. Gave it to Caicedo. Chalobah comes across for Fernandes. Fernandes to Pedro Neto as hush descends upon the G-Tech. Only for the Chelsea fans to break it. And a crossfield ball looking for George is just headed by Coyote to stop its trajectory, but it still ends up at the young winger's feet. Infield to James. James with a load of space to get it across the pitch, bouncing to Pedro Neto. There's the cross to the back post. Really good cross, and not for the first time today. Michael Coyote, as last man, has made a really important defensive intervention. Behind it goes, corner to Chelsea.
Good defending again from Coyote. As good as he is getting forward, he's made some vital interceptions. on that back post.
Corner taken short. George then into Cucurella, heads it back to Neto. Neto took a touch before shooting, and that allowed Mollett to get across and make the block. Sharda knocks Caicedo to the ground, but no foul, and Palmer that makes a run down the left, just about gets it into Pedro, and somehow Enzo Fernandez got to it. And on the ground, Kelleher looked like he'd lost it, but then stuck out a right glove and manages to turn it behind. Now, has the offside flag gone up? Very, very fortunate there, I think it's fair to say, Brentford. It's actually pushed back on to Enzo Fernandez by the keeper, and Fernandez kicks it behind for the goal kick. And it is Igor Thiago who's coming off for Dango Ouattara. You were absolutely right. And Matthias Jensen for Rico Henry. So not quite the changes that we thought, but that's an interesting one, because I would have thought that means Lewis Potter going further forward. Henry will go into the left back position, and Sharda will be sort of the lone man, as it were, up top, with two around him, and then Henderson and Yarmolyuk as the obvious pair there. Be the guess, and that's exactly initially how it's gone. Dango Ouattara gives it to Lewis Potter, and then Pinnock tries to get it forward, blocked by Enzo Fernandez. They just, I think, felt they needed some fresh legs, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. And as you say, they look like they've gone to a back four.
Vandenberg to Collins to Coyote. Henderson. Surprising hush around this ground at a moment where Brentford possibly could do with their supporters a little more. Yarmolyuk. There's Vandenberg. Yeah, they have still got the back three, haven't they? They have. Lewis Potter has basically moved into a bit more of a narrow position, and he and Sharda will dovetail, I think. It's a lot to ask him to do both the defensive and attacking work that he's done in this game for 90 minutes. Sharda gets a bit of fortune getting it off of his opposite number, Pedro Neto. Now here's Henry, still building himself back after all that injury trouble, and he's given the ball away to Pedro Neto. Neto already up to the edge of the area. Pedro Neto inside, it's going to break for Cole Palmer, and he tried to pass it in that time, and it needed more pace because Kelleher was able to get across and dive onto it and make a pretty comfortable save when it should have been 2-1 Chelsea. But Chelsea threatening once again now. You'd have bet your life on Palmer scoring again there, by the way. James coming forward, tacking down the right hand side, tries a little trick. It hits Pinnock. Pinnock is going to do really well to win his team the free kick there, and Cole Palmer puts his head in his hands because he should have made it 2-1 Chelsea.
Well, he knows he should have. Again, it's brilliant down this right hand side. Neto, bundle of energy tonight. That's a superb pick out. Cole Palmer, a man of his ability, he knows that should be 2-1. It's a brilliant save though, I've got to say, from Kelleher.
He's done well to get across to it, hasn't he? I feel like he needed a performance like tonight. I know he's not had a huge amount of a test, but there've been moments for him. Could do nothing about the goal, of course, because there have been the odd doubt about him. It wasn't great against Nottingham Forest on the opening day. There was an error against Sunderland. He if he is going to be this number one that he's left Liverpool to be, he needs a performance like this to really get the support and the confidence, I guess, of the Brentford faithful. As Cucurella finds Cole Palmer, Brentford managed to get it off him because it was a difficult one for him to control. Ethan Pinnock now has it. Henry, I should say, comes back via Yarmolyuk to Collins, and that one might fall for Henderson, who's claiming there was a high boot on him there, but he's still got the ball and he's managed to emerge with it and work it down the right hand side. And he's asked Dango Ouattara to chase, and he's easily got there ahead of Cucurella. Now he approaches the right edge of the 18-yard box, takes it past him, keeps going. Cucurella tackle, corner to Brentford.
He's done really well there, Ouattara. Really well. I was just about to say as well, the change of shape is more attacking. It's almost like Brentford are trying to win this game, Tobes. They've actually gone 3-4-3.
Yeah.
So Henry's come on as a left-sided midfielder, which has allowed Sharda, Ouattara and Lewis
Potter, to get
as a free, rotating at the top of the pitch.
I'm assuming that Dango Ouattara on the bench today is because he played 180 minutes for Burkina Faso during the international break, during which he scored a couple of goals against Djibouti, which took him to 10 goals in 30 games for his country. That's not a bad record at all. Here comes the corner. It's a terrible one. Doesn't beat Cole Palmer at the near post, but fortunately for Lewis Potter, it's going to come back at him. He turns it back to Henderson. Henderson's cross is deep. Collins is there, heads it down. Will it fall for a Brentford player? It will. It fell to Henry, and it was all a bit awkward with his back to goal, and he's just basically passed it over his head to Robert Sanchez. 13 minutes to go. 1-1. Been a really, really entertaining night of Saturday night football. Chelsea come with George. Cucurella tries to give him it back. Brentford get fortunate with their clearance and it falls to Henry. Takes it away from Pedro Neto. Approaches the halfway line. Runs past James as well. Keeps on going, Henry. This is Rico Henry of old. Up to the left edge of the 18-yard box. Hangs the cross in. Headed away by Tosin Adarabioyo. Henry will chase it. Pedro Neto hits it against his face. And that's a throw-in for Chelsea.
Good player he is, really good player. They will have missed him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how long they've been without the first choice pairing of fullbacks with Enrico Henry and Aaron Hickey for so long. And of course, in Hickey's case, they've signed Coyote ever since. He's trying to defend Tyreek George. Does well to get it onto his right foot, gets the cross in. Pedro Neto deep on this near side. Left foot cross towards the back post, headed away. Pinnock clears. And it's up towards Sharda, and if it had just fallen a little bit shorter for him, he'd have emerged with it. Can Brentford get the ball back? Not quite, and then James goes over. That's a foul by Sharda. But they don't half manage to make a mess of things at times, Chelsea, to make life difficult for themselves. They've then taken the free kick from the wrong position as they thought they got through. That will be a chance for Chelsea to retake, and we're going to see the debut of Alejandro Garnacho. Another Argentine coming onto the field for Chelsea, and it is João Pedro who is coming off. So another little change around for them, and I would have thought that means Tyreek George goes back to the centre-forward position. So Garnacho finally gets the debut that he's dreamed about for so long, wearing the number 49 in the blue of Chelsea. There'll be a chance for him as well, you just know it, don't you? He's never shy of a headline. He's always involved in some way, and here's his first touch in Chelsea blue. Gives it back to Chalobah with the peroxide blonde hair. Garnacho. Now it's over the other side of the field. Pedro Neto attacking Henry. Back onto his left foot. James. Caicedo. James. Basically been a central midfielder since coming on, Reece James.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Enzo Fernandez. Neto. Fernandez. Chelsea probing without really going anywhere. Slowing it down into the centre circle for James. Former captain of Chelsea, of course. Caicedo. Taking his time before passing it carefully out to Pedro Neto. Up against Henry. Neto back to Caicedo. Crosses deep to Garnacho. Tries to keep it in. Has he won his team the corner there? No, it stays in. Coyote chases it out. Cucurella's there first. Gives it to Chalobah. James. Lovely turn by James. Just fooled Jordan Henderson and won his team the free kick as we move into the final 10 minutes of the 90. Brentford 1, Chelsea 1 on Premier League Live with Kev Watson and Toby Gillis.
That was great skill, wasn't it, from Reece James? Certainly too good there for Jordan Henderson,
who looks at this moment, they've still got plenty of changes left available to them, but looks at this moment like he's going to last 90 minutes for the first time in a Brentford shirt. As Chelsea rather waste that position with the overhit delivery, and out of play in the left back position it goes for Brentford to take a throw. And we're going to see a couple more changes. Aaron Hickey is going to come on, and Christopher Ayer as well. I suspect the throw will be taken first. Will it? A yellow card, I'm assuming, for time wasting there for Ethan Pinnock, I think. Not 100% sure what that is for, I must confess, because it's Rico Henry that was taking the throw. And they're going to get another one off of Caicedo. Any idea what that yellow was for?
Nope, not a clue.
I think it is that. They're doing it again. Henry's given it to Pinnock. He has launched one down the line. Kept in by Sharda, was it? No. Went back out of play. And now I think we will get the Brentford changes. So Aaron Hickey will come on for his third appearance of the campaign. And Christopher Ayer as well. And Pinnock's night is over. That will be a straight swap with Ayer. And Hickey is going to come on for Michael Coyote. He's got through some work today, by the way.
Yeah, he's been good, Coyote.
So the Scottish international is on as he slowly rebuilds. And again, he's another player for whom just restricted so much. Joined from Bologna in 2022. 40 appearances for Brentford. And that's nothing to do with his quality and all about injury issues. So 7 minutes for something to change. Chelsea feel the favourite, but he wouldn't totally count Brentford out. They haven't not produced anything in this second half. So there's a little barge there by Dango Ouattara on Cucurella. Throw in for Hickey to take. Midpoint of his own half over on the right hand side. And he's now left it, and I think he's going to get a yellow card for the time waste, is he? Well, I don't understand why one gets a yellow and another doesn't. Ethan Pinnock, when he gets this little fine for the yellow card, will be a bit annoyed about that, won't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's
throw
all
in taken by Ayer.
It's all planned.
Yeah.
And you actually heard on the pitch side mic, Hickey picks the ball up, and then a voice says, Christoph takes that.
There's Pedro Neto for Chelsea on the near side there, right, infield to James. James through to Palmer. Goal referee had to jump over it. Worked out to the left-hand side for Garnacho. Garnacho takes on his man, tries to find Palmer. It might break here for Chelsea anyway. Shot rifled in from 20 yards by Caicedo. Brentford 1, Chelsea 2. They've been the better side in the second half, and they've turned it around with 5 minutes of the 90 to go. That is some hit by the man who's only just been usurped as the most expensive in Premier League history.
Well, I tell you what, Tobes, you will go a long, long way to see a more pure strike than that. All right, they afford him too much time on the edge of the box. It's good from Garnacho initially, you know. Takes his player on the outside. It's a little cutback. Brentford can't clear it properly, but Caicedo's allowed 1, 2, 3 touches to set himself, and not one player gets out close enough. But when he does hit it, that is as pure a strike as you'll see. It is a brilliant, brilliant finish from Caicedo.
That was a banger. And it has blown a hole in Brentford's balloon. They probably, on the balance of the 85, don't deserve defeat tonight, Brentford. But Chelsea have responded. And I'll tell you, the point you made there about Garnacho was not lost on the Chelsea players who went to celebrate with him, perhaps over Caicedo, when that goal went in. Brentford trying to respond. Cucurella wallops it away. It'll be chased by Garnacho. Time for Collins to hook it over his head. Yarmolenko heads on.
Caicedo away. And the offside flag goes up. Well, now Brentford need something special. Keith Andrews looks sick as a parrot, but his team are attacking. Hickey inside position, out to the right-hand side for Dango Ouattara. Nice turn, gets it away from his man. Must have taken a deflection. Robert Sanchez had to make a save at his near post, and it's hacked into touch on the near side by Cucurella.
It's another brilliant save from Sanchez. We'll have to see what happened here. Does he try and read the cross? I think that's a deflection. He's done so well to get to that. It's a deflection. I'm not sure if that's off, but that's going in at the near post. And he gets his big left wrist on it to palm it away.
There's a Chelsea player down. It's Cole Palmer. And Brentford will look for the long throw from Kevin Schade. He's picked up a dry ball. Vandenberg forward. Collins forward. Ayer forward. Henderson lurks edge of the area. Lewis Potter's in there as well. Throw by Schade in towards Collins. It's gone a long way. Oh, goodness me. Sanchez tips it over. Corner.
It just goes to show the power of a long throw. It causes all sorts of consternation. In the end, I'm not sure anyone touches
it. You can't score direct from a throw, can you? So that would have been an interesting VAR. Corner though. Plenty of height in there for Brentford, loads of it. And it'll be Lewis Potter to take. Here's the delivery. In it goes towards Ayer, might drop for them. It bounces kindly for Sanchez. And now Sanchez, I think his hamstring's gone, has it? Did his hamstring just go? Yeah, and Trevor Chalobah's just said that, asked him that exact question, and he's nodded to. And you know, it's easy to think, oh well, this is just wasting some time. But I think Robert Sanchez genuinely has lost his hamstring there. And I'll tell you what, Chelsea have made 5 subs already. So if he can't continue, we're going to have one of my favourite things, which would be an outfielder going in goal. But I think he's going to just have to struggle on, isn't it? As Brentford make their final change. And it's Lewis Potter off, Fabio Carvalho, who is coming on for Lewis Potter, who increasingly I'm understanding the beauty of. He's just a workaholic, Lewis Potter.
He's all right. He's all right. He's misread the situation.
Sanchez.
He's probably forgot that they've made 5 subs. He was always going to get back up. Your hamstring don't go, and then all of a sudden it's all right.
No. Well, let's see.
Bizarre.
I mean, he's now got the ball at his feet from a drop ball. He didn't receive any treatment, did he? So, and now he's able to clear the ball.
And how can you kick a ball like that?
It was an odd one. Header away is by Collins. Falls for Chelsea Blue. About to go into stoppage time at the end of the 90. Chelsea 2-1 up. Brentford looking to attack. Foul by Schade on James. And we have 6 minutes for Brentford to find a way through. Chelsea, by the way, as things stand, albeit with Liverpool still to play, they play Burnley tomorrow, are going top of the Premier League with 10 points from their 4 games, still unbeaten. Only Liverpool and Crystal Palace otherwise remain unbeaten, as the referee is having to deal with an incident involving Tyreek George, who is booked. Altercation there with Christopher Ayer. And Kelleher will get this one forward quickly. Minute of the 6 has gone. Chelsea with the high line.
That one's gone up towards Fabio Carvalho, who needed to leave that one because he'd have been offside. I don't think he was aware of it as Pedro Neto chases away. Henry with the tackle. Was there anything Keith Andrews could have done to stop this, or was this just a better team playing better in the second half?
Exactly that. I think Brentford have been outstanding tonight, to a man. It's a fantastic goal. If I had to criticise a little bit, it's get out quicker to block that shot. Caicedo had one little touch, two little touch before he struck that ball. Get out, throw your body in the way, defend.
Vandenberg up to Carvalho. Henry gets caught under his feet, keeps it in. He was fouled, was he? He wanted to continue his run, having got up and turned his man, but free kick for Brentford, which Jordan Henderson is being told to take right on the touchline.
For me, this goes in the box. You get your big players up, your centre halves, and it goes in the box.
Has just given an absolute evil to Stuart Atwell, who told him he wasn't playing it from the right pace, put the vanishing spray down, and they've ignored it. Carvalho's put it to a yard ahead of the vanishing spray. It does go up to the edge of the box. The header in by Dango Ouattara is dealt with by Chelsea. Hickey brings it down. They continue with Henderson in the centre circle. He goes high diagonal. James heads away. That'll be a throw for Brentford. Where's Michael Coyote when you need him? Well, he's on the bench, having been subbed off. But Shard has proven that he can deliver one as well, and I think he's going to. Henderson's making his way up as well. He'll lurk edge, I think. One Brentford fan behind Sharda in expectation is filming this, and it's going to go a long way, and it'll be tapped home by Fabio Carvalho, who has equalised in stoppage time. We said Brentford probably didn't deserve to lose it. Maybe now they haven't. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2, Fabio Carvalho.
This Premier League never fails to disappoint. And it's a simple thing, a long throw from Sharda, flicked on, and Carvalho just comes in at the back post. I think it's Aya that gets the touch at the near post. Yes, it is. And Carvalho, and it's Garnacho that switches off, of all people. He switches off at the back post. They don't win the first one. And there's Carvalho, steals a march on Garnacho and taps it home. As you said, Togs, we don't think they deserve to lose the game, and maybe now they won't.
What a moment for Fabio Carvalho. He's proven himself in the past as a real goal threat, and he has poached that one for Keith Andrews there, who must, despite the appearance of his face, which looks more like relief than anything else, be absolutely thrilled with that. A draw against your arch rivals, your local rivals, is massive. But, is it?
What are they checking?
What are they checking? VAR having a look.
Nothing.
Goal! I definitely didn't see anything wrong with it, and neither did VAR. And they can celebrate all over again. And now you do see that reaction from Keith Andrews, who's telling them, pump your chests up, boys. There's still at least a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Maybe we can win it. And it's Enzo Maresca with the look of concern now.
They've been outstanding, and all that is not being able to deal with a set piece. That is all that is. Aya being bigger, stronger, timing his jump better, just to get the flick on. But Garnacho has switched off at the back post.
James goes long to Garnacho. Can he keep it in? Just about. Prevents the goal kick. But Henderson can bring it down. Now here's Dango Ouattara, deep inside his own half. Checks, turns, still has it. Tries to find a gap to Yarmolyuk, doesn't do so, gives it away, and here comes Cole Palmer. This is extraordinary. Palmer to Garnacho, left-hand side, comes it back to Palmer, who spoons it over the bar. And that might just be the chance.
What a finish we got here. Again, Garnacho does well. That's a brilliant pick out. Cut back. He's took 4 Brentford players out of the game. But I don't wish to be an old cynic, but him switching off at the back post, not doing his defensive duty, has cost Chelsea 2 points for me.
You still wouldn't be surprised if there was another twist.
No, you wouldn't.
Here we are, 96. That's the minimum we were given.
How much longer will there be? There was the VAR check, albeit brief, after the goal. It must be at least a minute. Kelleher away. One in the air by Chalobah. Henderson gets it down. Sharda to Dango Ouattara. Runs into Cucurella. Here goes Garnacho. Up against Hickey. Sharda getting back at him. Garnacho into the middle. There's nobody there. Goal kick.
Do you know what there? They lost the ball, Brentford, and they had 8 players sprinting. 96, 97, the 97th minute in, and they're sprinting to get back in to stop a goal for it. Outstanding.
The atmosphere is always electric at the G-Tech, but on a night like this, when you're denying your rivals the points they thought they'd won, it's a fabulous place to watch Premier League football. Away by Kelleher again. There goes the final whistle. It has